Show. Howard 101.
Jay Thomas, the host. Jay Thomas, the host.
I can't stand it, I tell you.
I love you guys are the best.
Jay Thomas Show.
It's the weirdest and the wildest. Horrible. Call 888-STERN-101.
Your name is?
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Jay Thomas.
Yeah. I actually heard a guy say on a local radio station here in Central California, "Hey, Mel Famey here. Happy to be with you on a Good Friday. Hope you're as excited as I am." And now let's go with Barry Manilow. And I really did. I wanted to stop, call the station and go, "You kidding, right? It's you're kidding. You're kidding me. You know." Wow. Hey, by the way, war-torn area. They've already shot some, jets out of the sky. And the missiles that they have go 35,000 feet in the air.
Surface-to-air missiles, buddy.
And the Malaysian airline people said, yeah, let's keep flying over Ukraine. Now, people go, well, what about the other Malaysian airliner? I'm going to tell you now how that one was lost and how this sadly was lost.
Wow.
They're fucking stupid. They're fucking stupid. The first guy was probably cross-eyed, didn't know where he was going,
I was really high. I thought that first plane just finally came down.
Yeah,
now.
I thought that they found I thought they finally
shit.
figured it out.
Fuck. I said, that stayed up there forever.
Fuck. I dare you, wherever you're working this weekend, I dare you to say that. That will kill them, buddy. That will
It's
murder
true,
them.
though. We all were.
I all thought when I saw the
that it was
news,
the
I was
same
like,
plane.
oh, they found it?
That joke followed by a new show I came up with, a doctor that specializes just with Alzheimer's patients. It's called Doctor Who. What do you think of that?
It's clever.
Wow.
It's good
Thank you.
wordplay.
Thank you.
Keep smoking, Chewy.
Boy, oh boy.
Should I throw my
many
Black
of you
Knight
wonder-
Rider bit out there? I'll throw a Black Knight Rider bit. You want to hear
Many
Black
of you
Knight Rider
wonder-
bit? I'll do it.
Morning shows, I got up, I had coffee, I did my thing and went to work. Afternoon shows, it's impossible not to be stoned before I come in here. And I just want to announce that to everyone. It's fucking 2:30 in the afternoon. It's kind of relaxing,
You're
I'm
asking
doing my
a lot
research.
of people. You're asking a lot.
You really are.
Summer
You really
Fridays.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shorts.
Oh, yeah. Have all of it. I'm up this morning, early because I've been traveling, so 6:30 is 9:30, whatever it is. So I'm up, and about like 8:45, I'm going, God, I did everything I wanted to do. Let's see what else I want to do.
It's wearing jorts, jean shorts.
The flip-flops are a little too much.
I'm sorry. I'm getting in touch with my kibbutz roots.
I want you all to remember this as long as you live. This is when you've been married too long. I go to make love to my wife, and I am just about to, and I wasted a Viagra on this. I come in, as I've told you, I've lost all this weight, and I look like a porn star from Auschwitz. I come in, shaved every hair off my body, which I enjoy doing.
Yes.
And come in and say, what do you think of this? And she looks and she goes, ooh, I have a pimple on my vagina. And I went, what? She was, I don't know what it is. I got to go to the doctor tomorrow. I go,
Well, at least he said what, not let me pop it for you.
no, but
That's
you know
when
what I
you've
mean?
really been married.
You've been married too long. You've been married too long. I mean, if it was your girlfriend or whatever, they would say something or maneuver it or
Power
whatever.
through.
And no offer of a blowjob or anything either. There was no substantial offer.
Like store's closed. She flipped that
Hold
out. She flipped that out to lunch clock on you on the front door.
You want to hear something?
What do you do now for 4 hours?
You want to hear something?
You just
I'll tell you how
yourself
let me
for
tell you
4
how
hours.
badly I felt. And when I say this, it happened a long time ago, but you will feel my anger and my heartache.
I always do.
I felt like Oprah outside of Harrah's at 6:15 p.m. in London. That's what I felt like, okay? She said that she was embarrassed, she was heartbroken, and that she felt the need for some sort of, remuneration or some sort of, apology from Harrods. That's what I felt. And I felt like saying, I feel like Oprah in front of Harrods at 6:15 on a Friday night. Like that.
As you knock the lamp off the nightstand with a boner as you leave the room defeated.
So what do you do with yourself then for 4 hours?
Call a doctor.
No,
Tell
that's
him, hey,
after,
Oh, you
that's
mean after that?
4 hours.
No, it doesn't. Look, as my brother has told me, it doesn't work unless, there's cuddling. I go, what? He goes, yeah,
That's
this
on the
doesn't-
bottle, actually.
I thought the whole point of it was so you didn't have to cuddle.
No.
No,
Believe it or
the
not.
point of it is so you don't look at your dick and go, come on!
No.
Are you kidding me?
You know what? That may be the funny. If this was the old days and they had those drops you could buy, on tape, one of them would be, come on! That's the greatest. The distance from the microphone. Why do I think it's so great? Completely loaded. That's
Completely loaded.
Yeah, you can never do it again.
Sober on Friday? Come on!
No, it doesn't work like that, Christina. What it does is there is, I don't know how it does it mentally, but really what it is, it just makes blood flow to the organ, but the stimulation still has to be
There's got to be a start. Yeah, there's got to be something.
Isn't it weird? Like, you take a pill, and I've said this forever, and I say this to my friends that are doctors. How does the pill know where to go, and how does it know to do that? And how did they even make a pill that would do that?
Well,
it sounds stupid, but
from what I understand, what it does is it opens the blood flow into the penis. So,
well, wait a second. Why doesn't it open the blood flow into the foot or into the hand or into the nose or something?
I mean, you can bang them with all those extremities.
Well, you
It's
could.
not,
You can do it.
There's no,
do it with every one
there's
of
no
them.
right or wrong way, but it's just,
So
that's-
you need to be aroused by somebody. It's not
Yes.
if you take a pill and then 40 minutes later you have a rock hard dick. That's not
No,
what it is.
it is not.
Okay.
And what it does is it allows you to screw somebody that normally you would have no interest in at all. And also in the middle of it, when you realize you have just mounted a pig at 3:30 a.m., and you normally would lose your missile, you kind of keep it.
You're ready to go
And-
again.
Yeah, so it also once it gets rolling, then the blood knows where to go.
So how many
that's it.
times can you ejaculate on this thing?
Well, not any more than a man really. You know what? Guys can say whatever they want to. Maybe Garrett, can outdo us on this one.
Look at his
but
face.
I would say you have sex. When you're married, it's 20 days later. But when you're single, it's 20 minutes later, 30 minutes. Right? Well, surely you wouldn't know anymore.
I
Brandon,
understand.
you're a nice
I have
looking guy.
never
Is that
taken-
Brandon running the equipment?
what's up?
Yeah, Brandon. I'm like a blind person. Let me poke him with my stick.
Feel my
Is that
face?
Brandon? Let me
He's
feel your
gonna
face
poke
with my
you with
hands.
his Viagra
Let me
stick.
feel a blind person once did that on my face. That is the most creepy, weird, odd, fucked up thing. Oh, what a strong nose you have. Really? You get your hands out of my nostrils, you blind bitch. Brandon.
Yes.
You're with a woman, you have sex or whatever, and then of course that TV comes on or you eat something. How long before you feel like doing it again?
I can go right away.
What a lying.
I swear to fucking
What
God,
a
man.
evil. You know what that was? What you just
Garrett,
said?
jerk
That
him
was
off
evil.
right now.
No, that was evil.
Thank you for
I'll tell
saying
you why
Garrett.
it was evil, and it has nothing to do with age. I've been saying this lately, Shuli. If anything happens to me, Thomas would have either been 76, 69, or 48.
How about the guy that got on the Malaysia flight and took a
Don't
picture
start.
of it?
Yeah.
No, he
Did you see that?
That was
No, he didn't.
He took a
No, he
picture
didn't.
and he put it on Twitter and Facebook,
Facebook,
and
yeah.
it said, if this
it goes
disappears,
down.
right, now, here's where it is. If it disappears, here's a picture of it.
Yeah, this is
No,
what
he
it
did
looks
not.
like.
Yeah.
If this goes down, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, someone's already photoshopped it, and it's a picture, and all the passengers have seaweed and shit on them from when they crashed already.
But the other weird thing
Hold
that
on.
they did.
If they have seaweed on them, see, the pictures of the people, they're all in their seats, they're dead, but there's seaweed on them. Many people think they just took that plane up, flew it back over there, and just did that again. It's the same plane. See, there's seaweed from underneath the ocean. Hold on a second. Hey, Brandon, you prick. So, you can go again right after. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
And ejaculation will come right after.
Yes, sir.
All right. After you've come twice in 15 minutes, how long before the third time are you able?
You're gonna hate me, like, within minutes. Not even.
You know what? I want you to cut your fucking mic off.
Yeah, but hold on. You didn't ask the right
Because
question.
you know what's sick? I'm almost I'm almost believing you, but
I'm not bullshitting you, man.
But you didn't ask the right question.
No, you know what? No, let me hold on a second. Listen, I lived in Hollywood and was single for years, and I did everything and was on top of anything that would allow me to get on top of it. And maybe 15, 20 minutes after, and maybe then an hour later or whatever, but not, and surely single.
Yeah, but weren't you on a ton of coke?
No, I was not. I was on a little bit. The ton would be too much. I was on a.
Then you got
I was
coke
on.
dick.
I was on
whiskey
one.
dick. It's all there.
No, I was on 1/8,000th of a ton. Now listen, Shuli.
Yeah.
When you were single in the clubs and women were coming up to you, I mean,
What do you think? I'm dead?
no, but how many? No, you're not dead. You're married.
Yeah. But when I'm given the green
And if you
light,
look it up in
I
the
go.
dictionary, it shows a corpse, but don't worry about it. In a tuxedo.
Yeah.
So how long would it have taken you to regenerate?
I would say probably in my prime, my fighting
Yeah.
weight, I would say probably about 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, me too, Garrett.
Yeah.
And before you
I want to watch a
cooked all
good,
the,
good
cooked all the
documentary
time.
or something.
And Garrett cooks such huge meals. I'm sure that his girlfriend goes, "Oh, not tonight. I'm so full. I'm so full." You need to start, doing quinoa and lettuce, and then you'll
Lettuce
be a lot
wraps for
late.
dinner tonight.
I mean, does your girlfriend ever say to you, "Oh God, not after that big meal"?
No anal tonight. I'm full of
No.
stuffing. Unless you're a fan of cranberry sauce, I'd stay away from my ass tonight.
Garrett's like, I'll give you a stuffing.
In your prime, Garrett, because you were considered a stud until you fell apart. In your prime, he just wasted away before my eyes back there. What was your time limit?
There was one time where I did back to back to back,
Wow.
but just once, maybe twice.
How much for
Wow.
you? How much for you and Brandon to go on Howard's show Monday and do it again?
I do it.
I'll pay you $20.
How about Brandon going, "I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it." Wow. Let's. By the way, many people go, "How come you ask questions and you never ever shut up?" I don't think that's him, but shut up. Shut up.
It's him. He's
Don't
live
talk.
in color.
That's him.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It sounds like a grouper just swam through the studio. All right, hold on a minute.
Good
Many people say-
afternoon.
Yes. All right. I want
Right
you to
around
back
where
up.
you are in California,
What
it's
is it?
around 75 degrees on
Yeah.
a beautiful sky.
We've got to make that documentary. I think he's slipping away also. Now, here we go.
Jay, I'm naked and loaded. Good Shabazz, everyone.
What a joke.
All right.
You don't even know how to read.
You know what? You sound a little
Shabazz.
sleepy. Go get some coffee. Go in the back.
All right,
because,
Jay. All right.
instead
First
of just
all,
asking these questions with no answers,
I have to
Doc-
give Christina
the cake.
Talking to
Every
Mike.
All right, hold on a
goddamn
minute.
day.
She
Dr.
deserves it.
Mike is now
Dr.
the
Mike.
official doctor of the Jay Thomas Show. Dr. Mike of New Jersey.
How you doing, doctor?
Welcome to the show, Dr. Mike. Where did you graduate from medical school? Can you please tell us?
Kindergarten.
somewhere in Mexico.
You were in
But,
Mexico.
No, all right. Real simply, I'll keep it slow. There's an enzyme called PDE5.
Wait a
that's
second.
found-
You can't just start like that. The question on the table was, how do pills know where to go? Are you speaking specifically of Viagra and Cialis right now?
Yeah, any of those pills. There's an enzyme called PDE5 that's found in the penis, in the corpus cavernosa. What those pills do is they inhibit that enzyme. That enzyme kind of takes the blood flow out of that area. So if you have a problem, there'll be more of that enzyme there. So by inhibiting that, it allows the blood flow to enter the penis.
You're the most street-sounding doctor I've ever heard. It's
Really?
a
It's not-
fucking
it-
It's a
P5,
urology
and you
thing.
fucking take
No,
a
it
urology
sounds
thing.
like, to be honest, it does. It sounds like you're one of those guys that sells Viagra on the internet and you happen to know about it.
So what
Now,
happens
Dr. Mike,
if your body is missing a blood flow because, I don't know, you have like a clot or something? Like, does it just make your hand huge then? You know what I mean? Does it go somewhere else? Is
Let's
that a
say
dumb
if you
question?
got a tumor in your balls, then what?
all right, stop it.
It gives you a headache, too, and the stuff he knows.
Now wait a second. Here's the deal. If you take the Viagra or the Cialis, and what would this be used for medically? Was it made specifically to help for sex, or was it done for some other reason?
It was made to decrease high blood pressure, and that the erection was a side effect.
Wow.
Dr. Mike, check my temperature. Booyah!
All right. The other one is the hair stuff, minoxidil. Was that really a high pressure medicine, and they found it grew hair or something? Did you know about that one? He left. He just hung up.
You had to go to surgery.
So.
You had a patient.
So you know what? As soon as I left the penile area, he was gone. He doesn't want to do hair. I really debated whether I should read this or not because it was personal and it was not sent to me.
Well, it's never stopped you before.
No, it hasn't.
Right.
Who was that laughing at?
Garrett.
All right. You know what, Garrett? Really? And I mean this. When a message is sent to someone and, it's not addressed to me, sadly, we are a company. And when you send something to J. Thomas Show at Gmail or you go online and you look around to send a message to people, I have a woman that is a manager. She manages me with her husband, and her name is Christine, and her name is on the website. Then there's Christina, who works for Sirius XM, not for me.
And she is lovely.
Thank you, Ira.
Anyway, so my manager has been getting dick pics, messages from men, all sorts of stuff, and she immediately sends them to me and says, I have to, and this has been going on for years now, I have to tell you, these are some of the most exciting and interesting messages I've ever received in my life. And it's pretty funny. Well, there are a lot of people out there that listen, and they may like me or Shuli or Garrett or this now fucking come 18 times in a night, Brendan. But they're certainly falling for or either think she's a slut, Christina.
Yeah.
This guy is so legit and has done something so spectacular that it makes you realize that you don't have to really be you can really be smart and you can really be engineering smart or doctoral smart. It still means you're kind of weird and freaky. And so this is to Christine. Now it went to my manager first and it was shown around her office first. Yeah. Then it was shown to numerous people and then sent to me. So I apologize for you. Christine, he means Christina. You are no nonsense, so I will cut to the chase.
Wow.
I dig your treats.
What is that?
I'm an avid listener to the show. I download it
I think
daily.
it's a typo. I think he meant to say tits.
No treats.
Oh. All right.
And listen back while I'm working out at the gym. Now, you got the muscles. You got the muscles. Right? I love it. You, not Jay Thomas, you make my day.
Oh.
Now, how about me? Well, I'm a 40-year-old officer in the United States Air Force.
Oh, I'm so glad nobody asked
Thank you for your
that.
service.
Thank you for your service, right. And I am stationed in California, and I am a C-130 pilot. That's a cargo plane, I believe?
I'd like to service you and station in your tits.
By the way, next time, I won't say your name. Next time, Colonel, cargo plane is not sexy, okay?
No.
And you're a pilot. That's sexy. So let her look up. What's a jet that they're flying these days? An
F-16?
F-16,
F-16, yeah. Put F-16 so that when she looks it up.
I'm a B-2 bomber pilot.
What? No, you know
That's
what?
awesome.
Bomber's not sexy either.
What are you
know what's
talking
sexy?
about? Carpet bomb? You got the word carpet in there? That's hot.
You want to know what's sexy? You're going up, and the enemy awaits you. And you're going to go up, and at that moment, you've been given the right by the United States government to rain fire and death from above by yourself, right? And that, to me, is very sexy. Raining fire and death from above by yourself with a lightning strike on the side of your helmet. Mm-hmm. Here I come.
I hear you.
Meanwhile, you're carrying, gas masks to the front. I don't know what you carry in your plane.
Yeah, he's got mail.
Now, I'm going to go around the horn with this one because he says in 2008 he did something, and this thing that he did in 2008, Christina, you have to recuse yourself from this. This is a thing that will be attractive to Christina, and the clue is, Garrett, you ready? All we know about Christina. That's the clue. Brandon, in 2008, what do you think this guy did that he thought Christina would be impressed with?
He was listening to an old episode where she was featured heavily on the cargo plane, and
Is there chapter 2 to this?
he dropped food to Afghani children.
Yeah, all right.
Copies of the show.
What?
Yeah,
He dropped food to the Afghani children and copies of the show.
Apparently all your
By the
brain
way,
cells fell out with that last load.
If I were you, I would not come so much. All right, I would perhaps take an inhibitor,
Or try
an
this.
enzyme and
Try this
inhibitor.
one. I don't know. Try that.
Don't say I don't know. You know what happened.
Let's go to
Say, I don't know.
Ira, the weatherman. What do you think in 2008? This man, who, by the way, probably graduated from the Air Force Academy.
Anal.
He did anal in 2008.
That's right.
And that would make
Fucker
that
stole
would
my
make-
answer.
Garrett Andrich, even though you've never fought for anything but a seat on the bus, what is it that you think this death from above, delivery from above, what do you think this person did in 2008 that he thought would impress Christina?
Never made eye contact.
He doesn't make eye contact to anyone. He stopped in 2008. Do we have somebody on the phones or something? You know what I mean? Do we have anybody that might know what he might have done? Well, who's on the phones? Who's there?
He's in another room.
Thank God.
Yeah, Mike.
And now let's go to Shuley, who, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is like bringing in a relief pitcher, bases are loaded. It's the bottom of the ninth, and we're up by 1. Shuley, in 2008, what did he do?
He either won a biggest pepperoni contest or ate an entire large pizza made completely of weed. That would impress the
Those
shit
are-
out of
you know
Christina.
what?
Damn right it would.
Or, in 2008, he had a vasectomy.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, sir.
He says, I have no desire for kids, and I know that's a big deal to you. I gotta tell you. Major General, this is an incredible, incredible
Yeah,
thing.
Brandon, way.
Brandon goes way off.
You were
Really?
close. Brandon was close.
And I don't have any kids, he says. I am previously divorced, same as you, and not really looking to get married anytime soon. Now, I hear on the show that you've had many troubles meeting a good guy. I'm not quite sure why this is so. I'll tell you why it's so.
Jesus.
If he listens as much as he says he doesn't need an answer to that question.
So
He
here
knows.
she is. She sounds really lovely on the air, and she is a lovely person. But to be trapped in her, not in just a room, but in a relationship. No, but in
You
a
want to be
relationship.
trapped in me. I know how to do that. Keith.
Her eyes dart because of her insecurity. Her bangs fall over her head, so there are pimples on her forehead all the time. And she smokes cigarettes, pot, and eats fucking pizza and cheeseburgers all the time.
Shit's like a trucker. I
don't
throw
know.
that in there.
I mean,
Curses
but
like
on the
mine,
radio, you would imagine we all have tuxedos and she's in come fuck me pumps or something. But no, this is pretend.
When I'm done taking this shit, we're fucking. Okay, honey.
I hear you on the show, and you have many troubles meeting a good guy. I'm not quite sure why this is.
The company I keep, obviously.
All of it. By the way, I'm not sure why this is. On asterisk, I just said what it was. You are quite funny, witty, a hard worker, and quite patient. You must be patient in order to work with Jay.
Ooh, digging.
Taking a shot.
Dig.
At times, he is abrasive and rude to you. Garrett and the other, and I can't say the word, it is a curse word used for homosexuals.
Oh.
He's not talking
Garrett
about you, Julie.
and
I was
the
going to
other,
say, if it was about me, it would have been a word almost spelled like kite.
Garrett and the other
super happy guy.
Anthony's. I think. I think they're all great.
On that.
I just want to introduce myself to you and tell you I'm single.
Yeah, we know why.
And wait a minute. And I love
creeping chicks out in emails.
The show.
Oh, good.
There have been so many between the lines things here, and so Vice Admiral, thank you very much. It has been. I'm like Ira now, Doctor Vice Admiral,
Colonel.
Yeah, Mr. Secretary of Defense. Thank you so much for sending this to us. I sent it on to Christina.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to know that my manager, who's a lovely, lovely woman with a couple of kids, who's about 35 or 6 years old, after she read this, she put, ha, 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 hilarious.
That was my response.
That was yours?
Yes.
Then my manager stole that from you.
Oh.
Because you both had the same one. And I don't know why. I'm sure you're a nice guy and you're in good shape and everything else. But, Christina, would you ever go out of your way to meet somebody like this?
No. I'm currently dating somebody.
No, but that's if you were by yourself.
He's got the same kind of stamina as Brandon, so thank you very much. Everybody, a round of applause for me.
Right. But you know what? That's a big deal. I mean,
you know what?
You know, he's a cargo pilot. I mean, come on.
No one clapped. Nobody cared.
Stop being upset because your girlfriend's too full to fuck you, Gary. Please. Okay?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Hey, that's a good title.
I kicked your ass. When you're like, I really love the show, then that just means I'm going to sit there and listen to you ask me questions about, is Jay really like that? And
No,
that kind of stuff.
No, that's not true.
Yes, it is. It's happening.
No, it isn't. But would you ever go out with a listener ever?
No.
Probably not. Right.
No.
I'm with you. All right.
That's the difference between owning a penis and not owning a penis.
Well, you know, years ago when people would send mail through the mails, and I was in L.A., I get this really incredible picture from this gorgeous girl. And she tells me that she is Belinda Carlisle's sister. Remember the singer, Belinda Carlisle?
Yeah,
right?
It's gorgeous.
And she starts telling me all these. She was telling me all this stuff about, and her sister was married to James Mason's son, who was a famous English actor, James Mason. Hello, I'm James Mason. Like that. So, she keeps sending me these notes and telling me stuff about their Polish family or something, and what their real last name was, and that Belinda Carlisle is one of 8 kids. And I look it up or find out or whatever, and everything she's saying is true, and I decide to meet up with her. And she worked at one of those, 976? Remember those numbers?
Yeah. Remember, I got grounded because of them.
Yeah, she worked at those stores, at those places, and during the day, she worked at a grocery store during the day, like in management at a grocery store. And at night, she did 976.
That's hot.
And she was
ever get confused? What do you clean up on aisle 7 wearing?
No, because during the day, she was a total square, but great looking. And then at night, she did the 976. And on the weekends, she would wear leather dresses that had like you could see her side all the way down to her cheek and no underwear. She starts coming over to my apartment, and I always cooked and had a bunch of people over there and stuff. And so I'm having a big barbecue one night. She comes over, and I thought that would be safe, she comes over, and she is doing the dishes. She's serving the food. She was fantastic. It was unbelievable. Fantastic. And she was Belinda Carlisle's sister. And beyond, the sex was beyond incredible. And she was just delightful. And I had a great time with her, and I met her. But, she was too young for me, and I felt like, somebody Mitch Fatel would have married immediately, right? I don't know what she might have been into, but she was great. And my friends would go, who's this? I go, everything. Well, one night, we were in bed, and I said to her, why don't you talk to me like you do on those 976 numbers? And it was almost like doing a hit of pure cocaine. She started with her talking, and I wouldn't have needed Viagra. Yeah. I became like an Olympic pole vaulter. It was unbelievable. And, I'll tell you something. I decided after being with her, it was time for me to get married. Because I said, you know what? If I continue on this path, I'm going to catch something so horrible. I'm going to die. I'm going to have sores on my legs. But I met her and I met another 2 or 3 women in my career that I went out with that were great. They were fantastic. See, you guys weren't DJs, I mean, I would be late at night, 9 o'clock, playing.
Yeah, having a ball.
Yeah, there you go, like that. And people
Christina,
like Ara would call
I have
you.
great stamina too. I can finish, take a 3-hour nap, and go again.
All right, sign me up for this.
How do I get that stamina?
You talking about eating?
By the way, if you ever had
Close.
the urge to pee and you didn't know where to do it.
Wait until I got a few things to tell him.
Right.
The P-Man.
All right. We have P-Man coming up who will say, let's say you're trapped
wait
somewhere.
until the questions that I'm going to say to
Right.
him.
I can't
I'm a
wait.
reporter. I'm supposed to report.
Now, I'll tell one more. I'll tell one more story that I've told before, but there was a woman in Knoxville that would call all the DJs and say she's putting the phone between her legs and making herself come and everything else. And I got really turned on by her. And this guy said, oh, sadly, she's crippled. She's terribly crippled. She has a regular size upper body, but there's something wrong with her lower body. But she drives this big Dodge Ram Charger or something. We had an afternoon guy that we thought was an asshole. And he tells me she's been calling him. I go, oh, my God. She's fantastic. You need to go out with her. She's unbelievable. Everybody here knows her. She's unbelievable. Then when she called that night, I said, God, I'm kind of sad tonight. She said, why are you sad? I said, we hired a new guy in the afternoon, the Raging Cajun or whatever the fuck his name was.
Flying Hawaiian with you.
I said, he's got a normal sized body up top, but he's like crippled down below. And she was dead silent. She goes, what do you mean? I go, we don't know. He's like in a wheelchair. He's a sweet guy. He sounds great and everything. But, well, buddy, she begins her onslaught on this guy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. And he gets all dressed up. And I would start going on the air at like 7. He was getting off at 7. And he would say, hey, I'm going out with whatever her name was. I went, yeah, great. Have a good time. He was all perfumed up and everything else. He apparently went and pulled up next to her, and she was in the giant car. And he was in his Porsche or whatever. And they're talking just in the cars wherever they met. And then apparently the door opens and she hops out with the 2, crutches. And we hear he peeled out. He peeled out. And so now we all felt badly, and she starts calling up saying, what did you do? What did you do? I go, oh, God, look, he just couldn't get out of the car. So he comes back, and he's yelling at me. I go, I didn't know. I had no idea, lying like I like to. And, yeah, we also used to wait on a corner and then have them wait on another corner and use binoculars. I mean, we did it all. We did everything. And, then you decide whether you're going to drive over there or not. Well,
I once met a chick online early on when I got here, and I was going to Vegas to do some comedy shows. She was in Arizona. She, showed me pictures and stuff. Everything looked great. She wanted to come and stay with me in Vegas, and I was like, all right, done deal. So I get to
a stranger in your apartment.
Well, no, I was living here at the time. I just started working here, so I went back to do a show in Vegas.
A total stranger you're going to let stay in your room.
Yeah. And so I go downstairs to meet her. And when the elevator doors open, I see what looks to be a middle linebacker who somewhat resembles the girl I saw in pictures from 27 years ago, obviously.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is not happening. I'm not banging her. I'm not bringing her around anybody. Like, this is over immediately.
Did she have a little suitcase with her?
Oh, yeah. And so she goes...
Oh, wait a minute. Did she have a big suitcase with her to put the large clothes in?
Fucking leftover buffet shit.
You said, look, I'm going to throw you in a pair of Spanx before we fuck.
I literally...
but go ahead.
So we get in the elevator, and I'll never forget, I was on the 18th floor, and I'm like, I have 18 floors to come up with a fucking thing to get her out of here. And I get to the room, and I shut the door, and I go, listen. I dated this girl here in Vegas. We were together for a while, and she heard that I'm back in town. She gave me a call. It looks like we're going to get back together. so you can't stay here.
Oof.
And she's like, well, where am I supposed to go? She drove like 5 hours from Arizona. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But,
Oh, God.
you can't stay here. And she looks at me and she basically, in a really nice way, says, I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
Which my comeback might be the worst thing ever. I go, hey, I could have fucked you and then thrown you out.
Oh, my God.
I go, at least I'm a gentleman.
Oh, my God.
And that was it. And she walked up.
That made it better. It made
I
it
mean,
better.
hey, you know,
Hey,
I wasn't doing it, man.
Hey, you know what? Soft landing. That's what you did.
Wait,
Soft landing.
ladies and gentlemen, we're in the Hudson. Everything's fine. We're alive.
All right. Stay where you are in a little while. Not next or anything. But in a little while, the creator of the Run P app will be here. Typical Jay Thomas guest. And then we will hear some audio and video.
Jay,
Yes.
for a good time, call 976 Phlegm.
All right. Stay where you are.
So what's your name? Jay Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go! This is the Jay Thomas Show.
Jay Thomas.
Understand what I'm saying to you? Howard 101.
Wow.
Thank you.
How do you think of that? You know, like when you're getting ready to record the song, how do you think to do that? You know, I don't know.
Somebody steps on your foot or something. I don't know. What happened?
How are you going to start it? I think I'll go, hi-ya, yeah. You know.
Probably some black
Whatever.
blues musician did it first.
the gods.
All right. Let's go to John in Kentucky. Yes, John, if you wanted to pick up Christina on the radio, how would you go about doing it? What would you do?
What's going on?
Well, we're fine. I thought maybe you'd answer the question right off the bat, but we got to go through all that how you doing thing. Go ahead, John.
That's his pickup line.
I know. That's his
Catchphrase. How's it going?
The mating call of a girl from Kentucky. This is still my favorite joke. Oh, goddamn, I'm so fucking drunk. So go ahead, John. Yeah.
You gotta walk up to Christina, right?
Christina.
And then ask her a math question, and she'll become so disoriented.
Yeah.
Tie her up with her extra long sleeves that she pulls over her hands. You throw her in the trunk.
Oh, yeah, let me add that. Hold on a second. Secretary of the Air Force, let me add this. She has these sweater-type things that she constantly
They're called sleeves.
It's really a nervous tick more than anything else.
And pulls on them while her eyes are darting, and she's trying to eat a piece of pizza that she wipes on the sleeves.
At times she resembles Pookie from New Jack City during a crack binge.
What a callback! I mean, you have to have real memory cells to remember, New Jack City.
I'm impressing the shit out of you today. I can hear it in your voice.
Oh yeah. By the way, restaurants are wondering why they're getting such bad reviews. And so a restaurant in New York decided to put cameras up or whatever and look back to videos that they had. Listen to this one. 4 or 5 years ago. Why are you laughing?
A friend of mine texted me. He said,
What?
About John from Kentucky. He said, if Craigslist had a voice, that would be it. Shout out to OptiGrabber on Twitter. Funny fucking guy.
So they were getting these bad reviews, and they went back to their surveillance system, and they looked back to many, many years ago, and they would, this is like 2004. The customers would come in, they would get seated, they would get their menus, and out of 45 customers, 3 asked to be seated someplace else. They would spend about 8 minutes before closing the menu. The waiter would show up instantly, take the order. Appetizers came out on average 6 minutes. Only 2 of 45 customers sent any items back. The waiters kept their eye on the table, and then when the guests were done, average time start to finish, about 1 hour and 5 minutes. 2014, customer comes in, gets seated, given a menu. Out of 45 customers, 20 asked it to be seated elsewhere. And before they opened the menu, they took their phones out and they began taking photographs of everything in the restaurant. And then they would do other things on the phone. And then they would ask the waiter why the Wi-Fi wasn't working properly. 7 out of 45 had waiters come over right away. show them something on the phone, then another 5 minutes of the waiter's time, and the waiters would explain to customers some sort of problem with the Wi-Fi, and then the people would say, help us. The waiters are now walking over to the table to see if the customers would like to order. The majority had not even opened the menu. The customer then would open the menu, place their hands holding their phones on top of it, and continue doing whatever they normally did on the phone. The waiter would wait around some more. Finally, they would order, and that would take about 21 minutes. The food would be delivered in the same amount of time, 6 minutes. 26 out of 45 spent an average of 3 minutes taking photos of the food on their phones. Half of them would take pictures of each other with the food in front of them or while they were eating the food. That would take an average of another 4 or 5 minutes. They would retake a photo.
If somebody told me to take a picture of my meatloaf, I'd punch him in the fucking
We're
face.
so narcissistic and we're ruining everything.
What's wrong with
25% sent their food back to be reheated.
Gee, I wonder why.
Just say Jews sent their food back to be reheated.
Half of them asked the waiter to take a group photo. 14 asked the waiter to retake the photo because they weren't pleased with the first one. Then there was chit-chatting and reviewing of the photo. That took another 5 minutes. Then there was another 20 minutes more that they were eating and everything else.
Another 7 minutes to exchange BBM numbers.
Yeah.
Not anymore, not
And
in
it took,
2014.
the average was 2 hours and 35 or 40 minutes to get them on. I mean, that's unbelievable. You're right. It's true, though. And I mean, everywhere I go, my wife will always take a picture of a martini. The martini arrives, and then
That's a sign of an alcoholic.
well, she's an alcoholic.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, then
Not
everything
even established.
checks out.
yeah, but I mean, I take photos. What, Christina, do you take photos when you go to eat?
A ton. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why? What do people? What do they?
Because
what do they
we're,
want to see?
keep capturing the moment.
Garrett, you take photos of your food before you shove it down your girlfriend's
hate it.
mouth. You don't.
It's like you're taking away from your experience you're having to try to remember it later, and you're never going to look at those pictures
It's not even
again.
to remember it later. It's to show somebody else, look at what I ate last night.
I do that,
Hey,
but it's,
hey,
but it's
Brandon.
after a
Hey,
shit.
Brandon.
I take a
What's
picture
up?
of
Hey,
what's in
Brandon.
the bowl.
After a girl eats you, do you wait 10 minutes and then take a shot of her eating you again?
Huh? Do you get
No, I
cramps
take a
if you
picture
go
right
too
away.
soon?
And then do you wait 30 seconds and another shot of her eating you again?
Oh, let me guess, Brandon. You can eat and then go swimming right away and not get cramps, right? You're that cool? Go fuck yourself, Brandon.
He's the only guy I know that can go down on a woman and then swim right afterward. He's the only one.
So I don't get why this leads to bad reviews for the restaurant.
Because then
They
people
said
aren't
slow.
considering that they're the cause
Right,
of the
yes.
bad review. To them, it's like everybody
the
should just be
roadblock.
accommodating. but
Food
really,
was
they're
not
fucking everything
done.
up.
All of it. We had to wait, and the guy running the restaurant, was like, getting the shit kicked out of him, and
They're
so
probably
he,
also losing a ton of money because the turnover.
And let me
is
tell you
not
something.
quick
But,
enough.
but how about this? 45 customers in 2004, 2 sent the items back, and then in 2014,
16.
yeah, so maybe they're cooking the food shitty. Maybe
No,
that's
no,
why they're getting
it's
bad
cold
reviews.
because they've been taking photos of it the
Right.
whole time. They're
They're
not
wasting-
just eating.
They're
No,
wasting-
people don't send it back because it's
No.
cold. It's because
No.
It
it's not
says it in that
no.
article. It
They
says it in
sent
the
it
article.
back to be reheated.
Yeah, because people like Christina, if they see one
What do you
little
mean
piece of
people like
red in their
Christina?
hand,
You know something?
Italian.
Why?
It means
Never.
Italian.
You know
I
what,
have never
Garrett?
sent
Why are
food
you
back
fucking
like that
defending
before.
asshole customers that did this and not the
Because I
I
fucking
don't
restaurant?
send food back because I worked in the food service industry and I know what happens when you send food back.
in 2004,
She's not just the president. She was a customer. Okay?
there was no Grubhub.
You're going to like
so
the way you look.
That's
Hold
why
on a
guarantee
second. Garrett, how can you be human beings
Have
in
you
the
no
public
soul?
now
This survey
all
makes
have
no
electronic
sense.
devices
Yeah.
that they don't need? 99.9% of the public worldwide is uninteresting and ugly. They don't need pictures of themselves, and their thoughts are fucking worthless. There are people listening now. I'm 1/10% of the entire world. Yeah, you are. Yeah, that's you.
Can I tell you, a good
Yeah,
meal,
it's
a good
stupid.
meal, you're in and out in a little bit over an hour.
Yeah.
Done. I went, my wife, my daughter yesterday, we went Queen's Comfort Food.
That's
on
a long
Steinway.
time.
It's fun, and that's too all right. I saw my waiter 3 times. He came in, what do you want to drink? What do you want to order? Here's your food.
Yeah.
4 times. Then he dropped off the check. And that was it. We were out of there. Bing, bang, boom. Done.
Yeah,
That's
that
how it should
restaurant
go.
was good. This restaurant obviously stinks.
But if he's got to take pictures with 4 tables that want to take fucking selfies with him and their fucking cheeseburger, then your order's going to get fucked up.
Garrett,
Something will suffer.
he did not say sent back because it was bad. Now he was claiming, this owner said that they tested all the food. He did everything he could, and it's an expensive restaurant. It's not a cheap one. And he was just saying, that this is, and we were getting these reviews about slow service. It wasn't about bad food. It was slow service and cold food. That's what it was.
And if you're, if you can't
Oh, he sounded just like Ira.
If you can't go to a restaurant for an hour and a half and not ask for the Wi-Fi, like everybody's asking for Wi-Fi.
That's probably because people have a Groupon and they're trying to get their coupon to show up on their phone. There's no Wi-Fi, so they can't.
Why
pick
are
it
you
up,
not
so
a
then-
defense attorney?
I don't know.
You would
I
never
don't
stop
know.
fighting. Ever.
Hold it. I know he stabbed her 19 times, but let's look at what drove him to do it.
So you think
Let's
this
look
yuppie
at a-
restaurant in Manhattan,
At a
everybody's mad 'cause they're
childhood
not
of
getting a
abuse,
Yep.
his mother was in prison and his father had him anally on a regular basis, Your Honor. And then, of course, he meets Clarissa, who sadly is no longer here to defend herself. Right, yeah.
Just yelling.
Many people think that Clarissa might have grabbed the knife and
no.
stabbed her. Yeah. Let's go to Kevin, who is in Michigan. Yes, Kevin,
Hey,
go ahead.
Kevin, how you doing, Kevin?
There we go, Kevin.
Hey, Jay, I got to thinking, whatever happened to your Nubian queen over there in Liberia? You ever get a picture
She
of her asshole?
never contacted us. We said we wanted naked pictures of her. She never contacted us. So, but I did get, you know what? I did get a scary email at.
Was it Svetlana? Because I got a Svetlana.
No, this woman was from Liberia.
She keeps
I
herself
got a
clean
scary
and tidy.
email from a guy with a Muslim name that seemed, I don't know why, it seemed a little threatening to me. Did you see that one, Garrett? It says, "Did you get my email?" And it was from.
Oh, you know what that means?
No, I don't know what it means.
It means, did you
Maybe
get my email?
Muhammad. Maybe Muhammad.
I don't know what it meant,
Hello,
but I
Mr.
think it was the same
Muhammad.
group. It was the same
Jay,
group. So I was
I
so
always-
nervous, I sent them a naked picture of myself to show them that I meant it.
Good idea.
Back to Ibrahim.
Jay,
No, I haven't heard back. Yes, go ahead, Ira.
I always take my dick pics right when my food gets there.
Well, that's good. That's a good time to take them.
Jay, if my food isn't free, it's
Yeah.
getting sent back.
Yes. Well, that's true. All those are true.
One thing
John,
I have to say, Jay,
yes.
last Thursday,
Yes.
the whole show was beautiful. Anybody that missed it last week,
All right, who was on last Thursday's show?
well, you were on,
I was on. Who else?
and
Who was the guest?
no, last Thursday at the theater.
Oh, the play.
The play.
Oh, yeah, Somewhere with You. Okay, look, the play closed.
was
Hold it.
wonderful.
Great, thank you. Play closed.
If you ever go on another Broadway
It's over.
show, I
Yes.
think I would go 20 times.
Well,
Aw,
great.
that's a nice
All right, well, I'm not
compliment.
paying for that, so you'll have to get your own tickets. Let's go to John at Toronto. Yes, John, go ahead.
Hey, Jay, I don't know if I am killing the story, but there's no way that story's real.
Why not? Why not?
Well,
Hold on a second.
when you-
Hold on. Excuse me one second. Hey, you know what, Garrett? At least be a team player when you're in the building. All right? At least be a
player.
team
He doesn't
player.
know what that means.
Thank you.
He's
John,
under the
no,
bus
I don't
thrower.
believe, now you could say, we'll never be able to prove it, but I do believe that the restaurant owner
He's
really
got to be
wanted-
suffering.
Excuse me. He said he hired a company. I'm sorry. He didn't do it himself. He hired a company because he wanted to know why they were getting these complaints.
He happened to hire a company
Making
10
it
years
sound more
earlier,
authoritative.
knowing this was going to happen.
No, he had the security video.
Security footage.
They just look back at average days. They just look back at average days. That's all.
But if you read the story, like, oh, the videos just happen to be in the...
Get rid of this asshole. Get rid of him. I'm not here to be disputed. I don't want to be disputed. You think I'm here for that?
Garrett
Why don't you call Howard up and say, you should have never married her. Why don't you do that for an hour? Do that one. Try and dispute people's decisions.
Wow.
Yeah. This isn't about being disputed. I said it. It's a thing, and I'll deal with Garrett at a later date. Good God Almighty. I don't want to hear your stupid fucking suggestion. That's why Rush Limbaugh says he doesn't have guests. I know what I'm talking about. Why would I have a guest come on?
Just
he
fucks
said that.
everything up.
Yes, he said, I know what I want to say, and I have all the facts. Why
Let
do
me
I need a
ask you
fucking
this,
guest?
Jay.
I love that, yeah.
How can you compare yourself to Rush Limbaugh? Rush Limbaugh, he's an ass.
This editorial, the views.
Let's go back to
Rorschach.
let's go back to reality for a moment. Let's go to John of Boston. Yes, John, go ahead.
I'm hungry.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right. Yes, go ahead, John.
I used to work as a dishwasher at this place, and anytime anybody
You don't
said,
sound like it.
Hey, did you ever have a sore on the back of your hand? And make sure the plates had some sore juice all over it.
Jay, be serious with this guy. Sir, did you learn Spanish before you got the job or on the job?
Did you ever? Did you know those two guys that blew up the Boston Marathon? They were dishwashers.
They were. Do you guys talk about them in your meetings?
Did you know anybody named
Zokar and iChart, whatever the fuck?
Zunar and Samwad?
Sasara?
Sasara.
This was back before those people came.
Why are you whispering? Are you at a halfway house and they don't let you use
washing
the phone?
dishes right now.
I'm in the office.
Oh, no shit. That's hysterical.
Dishwashing Central?
I like that somebody else is paying for you to call us. That's what I like. So you were a dishwasher. This was before you got a master's degree from MIT, and now you're in the...
I was in college.
Right. Okay. And so what happened? Tell us.
Anytime anybody sent back food, he would, the cook would put it on the floor and step on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stepped on it.
I wouldn't eat that
you know
food.
what's funny? Christina,
That's sanitary.
Christina just texted me, I'd like to meet this guy. That's weird.
Yeah, I definitely
Out of
would.
all the things you guys have tried, you just have to call up and whisper and say you were a dishwasher.
Yep.
And she suddenly has a wide on. All right. Well, thank you.
There's a snail trail in the studio.
No, but you know what? Men have a hard on. Women needed something, so I thought of either a lady boner or a wide on.
I like it. You didn't ask him what he does now. I'm a Maytag man.
I'm the loneliest guy in town. Thank you. We had on the...
Hey.
What's that? What happened?
Hold on a minute.
Hold on a second. Yes, human whisperer. The human
That
whisperer.
pilot that you've been making fun of all the time, do you think he's going to find you guys and run his plane into your office?
No, but he might. You know what? He might drop some overcoats to us from his C-130. He might have some of those.
He might get angry and drop a bunch of pamphlets down.
Some of that cold weather gear might just come floating down. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your service.
What's the
we had the human Ken on. We tried to get the human Barbie on at the same time, and she is from maybe not Ukraine, but she's certainly Russian, and she really is beautiful in her photo, in her videos.
Does she know anything about the jet?
No. But she has decided that she is going to become...
We're the only people the day after that disaster to book a Ukrainian Russian that has no idea what's going on over there.
Garrett, I want you to look this up because I can't believe it. It's a breatharian.
What is that?
Well, she says that she has joined a group of individuals that are breatharians, and they will only live on air. Now, it's the dumbest thing, but if you go online and she's there.
What's weird is breatharians they have a short lifespan. It's weird.
Well, they must.
Yeah.
They must. I don't know how you would get... Garrett, do you see breatharian there?
Yeah, they survive on sunlight alone.
But wait a second. They'll die.
I mean, even a snake who survives on sunlight needs to eat something every now and then.
Breatharianism is considered a lethal pseudoscience by scientists and medical professionals, and several adherents of these practices have died from starvation and dehydration.
Well, let's just hope. Coming. We can only hope that the human Barbie, and then they stuff her and they put her in the museum. You know, I remember going out one night and I said, "What do y'all want to eat?" And it was announced to me that these people were pescatarians. I had never heard that, and they only eat fish. And I went, I didn't even know there was a word for I don't know. Pescatarian? You ever heard of that?
Yeah, people that only eat fish.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Are there what's Latin for meat? Are there meatitarians? What would you call them?
Carnivore?
Carnivore. I'm a carnivore.
Omnivore.
No, that's humans. We're omnivore.
Omnivore is meat and vegetables.
I love when people go out and go, carnivore is meat.
But omnivore means meat and vegetables.
It means everything.
Like
that's
T-Rex is a carnivore because you only eat meat. But
really?
Brontosaurus is an omnivore, or I think.
Wow.
Or Stegosaurus.
Herbivore.
Herbivore.
I would like to go back in time because in the Bible they say that when Christ was living, there were dinosaurs. That's the only way that the world could be 6,000 years old. Wouldn't it be funny if you see Christ and all of a sudden a T-Rex comes down and just swallows him whole?
Or
now
holds
that
it
would
with
be
his
kind
little
of
hands.
You know what? If the Bible
Little
were
arms.
real, that'd be a great book.
Well, that's what Hicks used to say. He's like, did somebody forget to mention the fucking Brachiosaurus walking around during that?
Yeah,
nobody led them in 2x2.
Yeah.
Humans would have been like chicken McNuggets. I'm not joking. Right. They would have just plucked us. What is it, Ira?
Jay, I'm a breastatarian.
Right.
I survive on boobs. This weekend is going to be a beautiful weekend, Jay, in the city.
Segue.
You know what? Wouldn't you love if he was a TV weatherman and you go to him and he says that and then he goes right to the map?
This coming Sunday,
there you
Lincoln Center, the outdoors.
It would be the number one television show.
We could just get him, like, you say something off-color, maybe racist.
Everybody is invited to Lincoln Center, the outdoors.
He's like a local weatherman.
Yeah,
it's
they're
the best.
having a memorial for Pete Seeger.
Let's go to Ira and the weather.
Asians are horrible drivers. Harry Belafonte is going to be over there this coming Sunday.
Oh, wow.
4 p.m.
What are they serving?
Nobody gives a
what's
shit.
on the menu?
I don't eat any food when I go to concerts or anything.
All
Because
right.
it's not free?
And next Saturday, they're going to have Roberta Flack.
Wow.
Man,
where's this time machine?
He's got a big social life.
It sounds like to me that the Hollywood Forest Lawn Cemetery will be empty next week.
Think Ira's just at Madame Tussauds all day thinking he's
let's
talking
dig
to
up
these people?
Roberta Flack and let's dig up Harry Belafonte and get him to the memorial. All right, let's dig him up. Let's have that guy make him look human, the one from New Orleans that makes everybody who they're sitting with a glass of champagne. Let's get Zsa Zsa Gabor. Let's get her out there also. Yeah. Let's go to Zach of New Jersey.
How you doing, Zach?
Zach, are you a pescatarian? Is that
How are
what
you?
you're calling him? Yeah, I'm fine. You're a pescatarian.
I am not, but I have a pescatarian in my family, and from my understanding of it, it's not that they only eat fish, it's just that they're a vegetarian with the exception of fish.
Yeah.
Wait a second. They're vegetarians with the exception of fish. Well, that's right. They would eat fish, and then they would eat a vegetable or two.
Right, so I mean, I don't know why you'd be a vegetarian and then eat fish, but that's what it is.
Because they must think fish eat vegetable. They eat other fish. They eat human waste. Also, I don't know that or not. They eat human waste, and this is why I don't.
Emotions.
Fish don't feel anything. Like when a big hook goes through a fish,
They
it
don't
feels
have
nothing.
any facial emotions. You don't.
Right.
There's no.
Well, they have that one. They have that one facial, right? But nothing after that. Like you've never been like, "Whoa, that fish is totally scared of you."
I very seldom release the material that I used when I was a stand-up comedian, but I'm going to release one of my famous bits now.
Yes.
I used to go on stage and go, I'm sick of these vegetarians. They'll eat food because it doesn't have a face, it doesn't have emotions, like Garrett just said. And I would bring a banana out, and I would say, but it is true. Imagine this banana were to have emotions, and it actually, maybe not a face, but it has vocal cords. And I would peel the banana, and I would go, ah! Ah! And I would scream right through the, see that? Ira would have laughed. And I'd scream through the entire peeling. And then I would eat the banana with screams and gurgling and stuff. That was one of my big bits. I only wish there was a snare drum around back then. It hadn't been invented yet, Zach. Well, Zach, when your relatives come over, don't ever tell them that joke. But when your relatives do come over, do you make sure that you have like a striped bass waiting for them?
Yeah. What do you?
I'm not too sure about a striped bass, but yeah, we'll typically try and have a fish dish or some vegetarian options available.
That bitch cousin's coming over. I got to go find some fucking tapia somewhere, tilapia, whatever the fuck it's called.
All right, Zach, thank you. And finally, by the way, we'll go away. What is it?
I just wanted to say that I'm pretty sure Ira the Weatherman is the funniest human being on the planet.
Thank you.
No, he's not. All right, get rid of him. Get rid of him. You're an ass-atarian. Get rid of him.
I'm hungry.
You see, don't start him up.
I'm starved.
You know what he is? Shuley. He's a free-atarian. If it's fucking free.
He really is.
Fucking eat. I only eat vegetables, fish, and meat if it's free. Let's go to Anvil Smith. Yes, Anvil, go ahead.
How you doing, Anvil?
Great name.
Yes, anvil, named for a large piece of metal that you make horseshoes on.
And Smith, named for a guy who fucks hookers.
Anvil Smith. No, Smith is a guy that would make the horseshoe. Yes, Anvil, go ahead.
Hey,
From
Jay,
Canada.
I just want to get your reaction over that down Malaysian airliner over Ukraine.
It was like this.
I'm with Shuley. I think it's the other one, and it just fell.
Okay, well, you know what? Canada is preparing a very strongly worded letter against this.
Uh-oh. Why? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Hey, you know what?
Oh, no.
I can feel the Russian rebels shaking in their missiles.
Rumor
right now.
has it Canada is also blocking Ukraine on Twitter. So the shit's really going to hit the fan.
And I understand that Canada will send no more wool sweaters.
That's right.
And toques. No more toques.
No more toques.
Hey, Jay, one last thing. Do you have any Serbian blood in you? Because you look very, very similar to my dad.
Well, you know what? The Serbia is kind of up there, but that Mediterranean, Greek, Italian, we
that
have
olive look.
That olive. Where is Serbia? It's up by the Black Sea or something? Where is that?
Well, it used to be part of Yugoslavia.
Is it, well, then
it's
closer to the Mediterranean then, right?
Yeah. The Mediterranean, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's all the same sort of tribe. They all mixed and everything else.
No, I'm serious. Can you send me some of your DNA so I can compare? Because I think you might be a relative of mine.
Yeah, I'll get that done tomorrow.
Yeah, would you like a swab?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
You want a picture?
And finally, let's end with Tom of Pennsylvania, who will give us some humor about words that end in tarian. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I used to have a girlfriend, and she was a vegetarian. She only ate pussy.
Oh.
All right. Stay where you are. We'll be back, but Tom won't.
It's like a small child was just killed during that.
Well, they fired my writers. I'm left with assholes like that. Stay where you are.
Jay Thomas.
Would you mind repeating that, Jay? This is the Jay Thomas Show. Out 101.
Yeah. After all the fun that everybody has made of Justin Bieber and stuff, his mom has come out to tell people that they're totally wrong about him. He was an all-star travel soccer player. He was an all-star travel hockey player. He was the chess and golf champion as a kid of his region. And he's one of the most amazing hacky sack players anyone has ever seen.
But
he's quite a. I mean, really.
But your theory on this is all those things don't make him a douche for some reason?
Right, they don't.
Well, I tend to disagree.
Well, I thought he was a little, fruity, non-athletic guy. I mean,
well, if he's such a great guy, why is he egging people's fucking houses?
Well, they sued him for $20,000 of damage.
Good.
And I said, that had to be an ostrich egg. See, it was a big egg. It was a big egg. Big egg. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see all that. So I just, was just.
He's pissing in a mop bucket in the back of a kitchen. Like, you go down the list of this shit this kid's pulled, and it's like, you're a douche. You're a tool.
When you look at it psychologically, that's what, what happens. There are two things going on, like in one direction, you're taking all kind of chances. And then in the other direction, your brain is telling you that you're, invincible. And that's why, your thought processes on safety don't really take over until your late 20s. That's why they, do so many crazy things. That's why you send young people to war. A 45-year-old guy's not joining up to go fight for our freedom and all that shit. It's 25-year-old guys. So Justin Bieber is really rich, and he's going through this. It's sad almost. And if he quits and just wants to hang out for a few years, he has enough money where he probably never has to work again, and neither does his family. But you're not allowed to do that, to quit and just hang out and do nothing for a while. I don't know. I would say that to him. Just don't do it. Stop doing it. Who goes to see him anyway? Is it little girls, I guess? He's going to be like all of them, right?
But I think
all of the, Boys to Men and all those guys are like coming back now, but, they run out of fans, right? The fans
they grow up.
Yeah.
He stopped being
But that's against the rules. Against the rules. You can't have your time and then retire and quit.
Right.
What's he going to do?
Yeah. You have to reinvent yourself constantly.
Then he'll look weird when he's 40.
Oh, totally.
But he'll still try and look like himself. He'll
still have that wallet with the chain on it.
I was very impressed that he was an athlete. Very impressed. And I was also impressed that Rich Clune from the Nashville Predators, the hockey team, he was brave enough to quote, and then I guess tweet it out. He said, I'm busy watching my plants grow because that's more exciting than watching World Cup soccer. Not many athletes were brave enough to say that. I feel the same way. In the United States, that was fun to watch and all. But after that, you and Garrett, did you watch Germany and Brazil or whatever?
Watched almost every game. Every game that I could watch, I watched.
The final where it went to overtime and they scored with like 2 minutes left, that was really boring.
Yeah,
it's boring.
Yeah,
it takes too long.
Real snoozer.
Yeah, I wasn't on the edge of my seat the whole time.
It's not like a 97-yard drive where
that takes
yardage
17 hours because you're moving an inch at a time.
6 timeouts,
bullshit.
Drive,
Yeah, you get to ride in a cart.
How about the last 2 minutes of an
Wait a
NBA
second.
game?
Wait,
You talk
hold
about
on.
a
Hold on a minute.
eternity.
Hold on. No one say anything. And Christina, don't say anything. I said, that's not better than a 97-yard drive. And then Christina said in the background, but you get to drive in a cart and everything.
Aren't you talking about golf?
Cute. She's cute. Leave her
No,
alone.
honey,
You're not talking about golf when you say a drive?
Aw, he's so
But
sweet.
is that true? Drive?
No, it
But not
is.
97 yards.
A
I don't
97-yard
know.
drive
Golf sucks
would be
worse than
Ira.
soccer. What are
Wait
you
a
talking
second.
about?
Ira would be how far did you hit it out? 97 yards. I got that ball
So,
down there, right down there.
I don't get it. I'm just going to keep reading.
A drive means we get the ball on the 3-yard line, and you have to drive it down to the other teams.
Oh, football.
Yeah. But the cart was good. That threw me for a moment.
What did you think it was?
That's the only
Christina?
reason why-
Baseball.
Quiet down.
No, I said golf,
boy.
Ira. I said golf.
The problem is that
boy.
it takes so long for them to set up to get the kick. I don't
It doesn't. It really doesn't. There's constant action going on, believe it or not. You just, you don't know how to watch it, I guess, is the way I would describe it.
Soccer is a great game.
Thank
Really?
you, Ira.
Why?
What are the odds he knows what
Well, they
soccer
kick
is?
the ball.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice. It's
Well,
like
that
you're
sums it
watching
up.
a football
Yeah.
game.
I was sitting in the living room with my mother in high school, and we had a foreign exchange student living with us, and he found soccer on the TV, and I was sitting there with him watching the soccer. My mother comes in and goes, "Oh my God, they've made a game I invented into a game." I went, "What?" She said, "Oh, we used to kick a can down the street, and now look, they made it into a sport." That's because no one in the United States, I'm not kidding you, had ever seen soccer up, I don't know, till when. I don't know what they I never saw it played, talked about, nothing. Zero. My mother thought she invented it. It's like Ira, like being raised by Ira. So, I don't know.
It was a very exciting World Cup, may I just say that. Thank you. Enjoyed it immensely.
What I like now are the pictures of the slums in Brazil that they've,
Well,
reopened.
fuck, they knew that was coming. I mean,
Oh,
shit.
yeah, they reopened them. They closed them, and now they reopened them. That's
the
it.
money they spent on these stadiums that are just going to rust and nothing will happen in them ever again.
They sold over 2.5 million World Cup condoms. They must have had the emblem on them or something. 2.5 million. That's a ton. If people were using them to get laid, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
the prostitution out there is huge, so that's
There's so
why
much
it was...
concentration this year on who's like fucking at the Olympics, the World Cup.
They've
They
always fucked.
They had a big story about the Olympics too, and how everybody was hooking up on Tinder and Grindr and stuff like that.
No, but those are the athletes. I'm talking about 2.5 million
No, it was also the people that were there as as watchers.
Well, that's normal, but it's like if you could have back when, but
it's
the
so funny
athletes
that
apparently.
that's a story. That's a news story. It's like who's fucking at these games.
Well, they give out huge amounts of condoms, and they've always given the athletes condoms for years, forever and ever. Think about it. Everybody has a great fucking body. Everybody is in good shape. I mean, maybe not the curlers. What sport wouldn't be in? There's not a sport in the Olympics that you walk. Every woman is a 10, even if she's a lesbian.
Then they're an 11.
Even if she's a lesbian?
Then they're an 11.
The shot putters, maybe. Maybe the Russian weightlifter women, maybe.
Yeah, East
But
German.
there's somebody for them. Somebody for them, right? I mean, think about it. I mean, let's say you walk through the Olympic City and they go, who's that? Oh, that's the Polish track team. Oh.
We dropped them.
Uh-oh. Well,
hello, testing 1, 2. This is Jay Thomas.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Did you want to say something before we went to break?
Yes, Jay.
He's not
I
there.
almost went pro when I gave up pocket pool.
That was awesome. We'll be right back with more of the Jay Thomas Show on Howard 101.
Jay Thomas.
Hey, Jay! Jay Thomas.
Howard 101.
Not everything we receive at the Jay Thomas Show at jthomasshow@gmail is a compliment or is uplifting. And so I think it's incumbent upon me to bring even the bad news to people. This comes from Eliza. Why is Christina laughing so maniacally during the show lately? You must be on some new medication. I enjoy the show, but sometimes Jay isn't that funny. And I tune into the show to listen to the sarcastic repartee from the frustrated, bitter, over-the-hill talent and his loser listeners, not gales of laughter from someone who doesn't seem to have any reason to be laughing. I could not agree more.
Right. It's so annoying. My bad.
You know what that email tells me? That woman has a huge vagina.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, it's just a guess.
You have to understand, lady who wrote that email, that I'm here in the studio, so I see stuff that you're not seeing, and sometimes I can't help the fact that it's funny, and then I laugh.
That's not good either, because that's like they don't know what you're laughing
well,
at.
I
Still,
know, but
it
I
makes you
can't
sound
help
even
it
more
when you
maniacal.
put somebody like Ira in the studio, and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Hey, no, I can't help it."
Well, that's a sound, that's a noise that everyone would
Yeah,
laugh
but then
at.
then he falls asleep immediately after he says it.
You know what? Don't be defensive. She's correct, and just go with it.
All right, fine. I won't say a word. Here you go.
No one said that. You see, that's what pisses me off.
Nope,
She
it's
gave you a little
Nothing
constructive
is
criticism.
funny ever again.
She said I was a sarcastic, over-the-hill, washed-up talent. You don't see me saying anything to her.
Yeah, but you say that about yourself.
Well,
right about
okay.
you. You can't
You
argue
might
that.
need to really examine who you are
right,
inside.
fine.
It's self-inventory day on the
I
Jay
will
Thomas Show.
no longer have a sense of humor, and I will no longer
No, you know
show
what? That's a total fucking
how
over
funny
bullshit reaction.
things are.
Hey, hold it a second.
I feel like I'm
Why
on
are you getting
VH1
so
couples
upset?
therapy.
Hold it one second. Field Marshal. The guy that wrote the letter to wants you hear what you'd have to live through?
You have
okay,
to
Field
deal
Marshal?
with this, and it's worse when I'm on my period.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
head
she
of
would
the...
be swinging right now.
Hey, the head of the Luftwaffe. You heard that?
Red Baron, you listening?
Oops. I'm sorry.
From
I'm not
David.
gonna laugh anymore. My bad.
I had, Shuli, I had Mitch Fatel on yesterday.
Is he the same guy as Mitch Fatel?
No, he said he corrected me.
Oh, really?
He said, it's Fatel.
Well, somebody's shit doesn't stink anymore. All right.
Wait a second.
Is he married to that chick?
Wait a second. It goes on and on and on about how mature he is, how happy he is, and his life is looking for women to be with him
and his wife, right? Yeah.
And now they got men.
Oh, she talked him into that, huh?
And we get her on the phone, right? Yeah. And then we have a former Howard Stern fan woman, Sarah, comes in. She announces she's bisexual. And I've got a lot of complaints about it, but I'll tell you why I kept him on so long. I am totally fascinated by someone getting married and swapping and doing all this shit with the wife. And I think all of us are sitting there going, it's impossible.
You're fascinated by it the same way not huge NASCAR fans are fascinated with racing. You're waiting for the crash. You're waiting for the wreck. Because you know, logistically, the odds of this working and these two staying together and being happy for 10 years, 20 years, it's not going to happen.
I disagree with you.
It's weird.
It can't. What? It cannot happen.
I think that they'll be fine because they're always somebody different. You know, like all the role
When I woke up this morning, this is what I thought.
And they're into
if you didn't hear the show yesterday at 102, which is right next to this one, Mitch Fatel, who's a funny comic, and is booked up to 2015. He's doing great.
And he used to work on the Stern Show. He was an intern on the Stern Show for years.
Yes. And then Stuttering John replaced him. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So then he's just, talking normally about it. And I don't know where the conversation is going to go. He says, I don't really talk about it to many radio shows like I can talk. So I said, well, go ahead. Let's do it. And he was explaining it. We got complaints. We got other swingers calling and everything else. I was thinking this morning, I think when they wake up, I think Mitch is thinking about how he can maneuver some kind of porno sex live show in his bedroom for the weekend. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I remember when these two...
That's what happened on the show yesterday.
I remember when they met, okay? And Mitch was, in awe of this girl, and, she's attractive, she's hot, and she's into doing stuff with other girls. But, and Howard had talked to him years ago when they first got together, the whole point of it was like, look, if we're going to do this with girls, then we're going to do this with guys too. And Mitch wasn't okay with that at first. He was even said himself he had to learn how to deal with that.
Oh,
and I hadn't spoken to Mitch since that time, so I didn't know if they ever moved forward, if they brought guys in.
He's in bed with another guy's wife, and he's looking over, and his wife is just getting pounded away. And I said,
They'll
these
do
guys
other couples?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask Christina.
By the way, Garrett, that's the number one rule among the perverted, which is total bullshit.
And don't come on my face.
You meet the perverted. I mean, I'm talking about
party pooper.
50 fucking years ago. You go back to Masters and fucking Johnson, whatever you want to do. They all have this rule, which is a lie, that we only do it when we're both together and we're with somebody else. You meet a woman in your office and she and her husband are swingers. There is a blowjob in your future in the hallway, in the exit, by the exit door. I mean, why not? I mean,
what's she gonna say? Only if my husband watches?
That's what he says.
Yeah, that's what he says. That's what they tell each other.
Of course.
And he doesn't fuck girls backstage and all that kind of stuff. You're all that stuff.
Then retire from comedy.
But what's weird is he was saying how happy he was and everything else. And then I got tons of emails at jthomasshow@gmail. Holy crap. I had to hang on and listen eternally for this guy Mitch to drag the show down. At a certain point, I became sick at my stomach, and he sucked all the funny out of you. And then, of course, the more he explained how he matured and he loved his wife. The Korean lady with the slipper collection was funnier. Remember her?
I want to ask Christina.
Christina, you're very forgiving. And in this one, you are dead wrong. That is not a match made in heaven.
Let me ask you this. This guy that you're dating, is there something that you guys do? It doesn't have to be sexual, but is there something that you guys do that you love doing with him? You really enjoy doing with him?
Yes.
Okay. What if somebody else jumped into that?
Oh, that's not for my lifestyle.
But I'm saying it's a matter of time before it will affect you. It will. Yeah. It may be great now and it may be fun because everybody's getting to stick their shit in other things. Mm-hmm. But it's a matter of time before you're like, oh, she's enjoying this too much.
Yeah, but don't these kind of people have to find each other?
She's never made that sound when I'm fucking
They do.
But don't these people have to kind of find each other?
They do.
And then they have each other. And then if they get, I don't know what direction their relationship would go in, but maybe it would evolve into I don't know, maybe sex
she
without
said the
each
killer
other.
yesterday,
I have no idea.
and this I know about strippers, porn stars, everything. She said it yesterday. She said, I said, do you guys want children? And I said, what will you tell the children and all that stuff? And then he was saying, oh, we'll be in the bedroom and all that. She said later, I'm not going to do this my whole life. I mean, we're going to have a family and all that. And I'm thinking, I don't think Mitch understands what that means. And so that was
that'll kill it faster than a fucking foursome. I'll tell you that.
Well, most women will want to stop doing it because they've got kids and responsibilities and everything else. Mitch won't. And so that will be the prime. Maybe every now and again they'll do it. But you want your 10-year-old daughter knowing that mommy and daddy and 2 other people are in the other room? No.
Mommy, what's this punch bowl with keys in it?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. A key
What
party
is that?
a key party is different though than
wait a minute.
a swinger party because you are
What's a
taking
key
somebody
party?
else's.
Jay Thomas, Mr. Actor
Yeah,
Extraordinaire
how do you not
in the
know?
70s.
This was like the 70s.
Couples would go up to a party.
Fishbowl.
They'd put a bowl, like a punch bowl. They'd put all their keys in it, and then whatever keys you pick out, that's
who
the
you go
person you're
home
fucking.
with.
I would never do that.
But you don't do it with your significant other,
In the
right?
fucking 70s, they were swinging from my dick like it was a fucking jungle gym.
Woo!
I wouldn't have to put keys in a fucking box.
Jay.
What?
I'm a swinger, too. My nuts swing like a grandfather clock.
My luck, you know what? My luck, I'd pull Ira's keys out.
Jay.
What?
There's one station that I like very, very much on radio.
We're not
What is
talking
it?
about radio.
Not terrestrial.
Cameron's so upset.
They
He's
play
having a bad day.
God.
disco. They play disco music.
Does your girlfriend have a pimple on her vagina also, Garrett?
She has pimple on her ass.
All right,
that's
let's go to our
piss
guest.
Garrett
Hold
off.
on a minute. We're going to scare this poor bastard off. Go to runp.com or at Polygeek on Twitter. Let's welcome the creator of the RunP app, Dan Florio. Dan, welcome to the show. When did you get the idea for an app that would tell people where they could go pee? Is that the... Yeah, that's making crazy old man laugh. Go ahead,
Dr. Dan.
Oh, boy.
Do you pee in your pants? And number 2, Professor, do you run and pee?
All right, here we go.
I usually get that response.
Dan, you're going to have to battle your
He
way.
was prepared for that one.
We're going to sell a lot of apps for you, but you're going to have to battle your way through. What's the deal? Like, you have to pee and you don't know where to go. And in New York, especially, customers only or no place to pee. A lot of service stations. I'm sorry, the room's not working or whatever. I mean, so what is
That's
your
a
app
movie.
do?
So that's a movie.
No. This is. It doesn't tell you where to pee. It tells you when. It tells you when to pee during a movie, so you don't miss the best part.
During a movie, I have to pee. I have an app that tells me that the movie I'm watching will have a boring scene in it?
In your pants.
Hopefully a boring scene like a music montage or something like that, or at least a less important scene. Like if you go see a comedy, you don't want to miss the funny parts. So
right.
That's what we do.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So a person they've gone on their way to make a movie. They've spent hundreds of millions of dollars, and you've looked at it where they should have edited and said, this is where you go to pee.
That's a common misconception.
What do you mean? Well,
because there's a lot of important scenes. Like, here's a really good example.
Like if it was this show, they would know that during an interview they should pee during the interviews.
I was going to say when it starts.
Exactly. That would probably be a good clue.
There'd be, he's going to have some nerd on who invented an app, so run to
right.
pee. How would that make you feel right now if you knew that were true?
I want to.
How do you think the producers, the actors, people that have struggled to get the money to write the script, how do you think it makes them feel? Huh, Dan?
That's a good question.
I bet you have never been attacked for this. This is an affront.
You thought this was going to be a fluff, little walkthrough?
No, you know what? I find RunP, the app, an affront to every talented person that has ever struggled to make it, fought their way from the bottom to the top and then back to the middle again. And then
You mean like Hugh Jackman, who heard about it from Anne Hathaway, and they both loved it?
I found out that that Hugh Jackman checks the the P times for the movies.
By the way, it's official.
He hasn't complained, but
you know what? In the movies that he's in, whenever he acts straight, that's when I go pee.
By the way, it's official. Garrett will argue with you about everything today.
Doctor,
no, wait
you
a second.
were great in Run PMC.
No, that's not. He's not a part of that group. RunP.com.
I'm an old man, Doctor, so don't worry.
Now wait a second. Now what did Hugh Jackman say? He and Anne Hathaway were making, Les Miserables, and you could have probably peed in a lot of those songs because they went on forever, even though I enjoyed it. So was he okay with and Anne Hathaway, were they okay that people went to pee during their performances in that movie?
Well, I think the point is that, if you have to go to the restroom, you're going to have to go, right? So at least, so people are going to miss something. And at least this way, they don't miss, the really great part that you're in. So you wouldn't want to come back to the theater and sit down and your friend kind of nudges you and goes, dude, Vader is Luke's father. You're like, what? You don't want to miss that moment.
So you have people watch the film. You have people watch the film, and
me
and
my family.
You and your family watch the films.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So then, let's say you're watching a movie like the new one, Sex Tape. Should you just piss?
I did that one last night.
Hold on a second. Can you piss and take like an hour-long shit while it's going on? Because I hear it's just a floating turd of not funny.
Well, actually, there was quite a few people in the theater, and there was a lot of laughter. So that's something we look for. So, right. But that does that brings up a really good point.
When what's his name? Is it Jonathan Siegel? That when he stands on his head naked, would that be a good spot to pee in?
Well, that was actually kind of like 2 minutes before the end of the film, so at that point you can kind of hold it.
So wait a second. So now you watch the movie, and then how did you make your notes last night? You saw certain scenes, and then what is the app? Does the app send me a running time, or how do you let people know when it's time to go to pee?
Well, right, you've got the app, and you select the movie Sex Tape. So for this one, it's actually a really short movie. It's less than an hour and a half without the credits.
Right.
So there's 2 pee times, one at 48 minutes and one at an hour and 7 minutes.
And you just check your phone. You check your phone during the movie, and
well,
at 48.
There's a timer. The app has a built-in timer.
Right. And at 48 minutes, do you have a stream of yellow showing on the app?
Well, no. It just that when it says after Robbie hands his iPad to Jay and says, "Did you just pull that out of your pants?" So that's the clue that it's time. The pee time has begun. You've got 4 minutes to run and pee after that line.
Now, how do we take this to the next level as far as blowjobs in theaters? Is there a feature where I can go, honey?
You know what?
We got 4
The app
minutes.
ought to be called Dick in a Box.
Right.
Professor, I peed in your app, and they threw me out of chili.
Well, you're not supposed to pee on the app.
Or
it's
be
the
in
Run
Chili's.
Pee app. Now, by the way, Rashida Jones is quoted.
Swinging, I have a hard time watching someone else pet my dog.
Just grab whatever paper you want.
Rashida Jones says the app gives you a synopsis that you can read while you're peeing.
Right.
So you have a synopsis of the film. Hank Azaria, who's also happens to be on a show that I love called Ray Donovan, and he does it. Stephen Fry, the famous, that's the English guy. What did you pay these people to say these things? What did you pay them?
Well, that's the great thing, and to be honest,
you didn't pay them. You didn't give them. You and your family didn't go on. Kick me in the ball starter and get money from them. That's my new thing. Kick me in the ball starter.
I didn't even know who Rashida Jones was until I read about this in Vanity Fair magazine.
Nobody does.
Doctor, does your girlfriend run squirt?
No. Hold on a minute. Garrett, who is Rashida Jones?
Quincy Jones's daughter.
She was in The Office.
See, I knew her as an actress.
Community.
I didn't even know she was his daughter.
Yeah.
She doesn't need anything. She doesn't need a career.
Parks and Recreation.
Nothing. So go to RunP. Is that it? RunP.com. How long have you had the app? I mean, you're doing it with your family. We're reading about people who, make billions of dollars with these things. When's this thing going to take off for you?
Yeah.
It's got a fairly steady download. So it's grown into something like, originally I just built it to learn a new programming language. I never thought this was going to be popular or anything. I just thought, hey, I need to learn MySQL, and I'll use this as a project to practice on, and then all of a sudden it got popular. So
you were trying to do teach yourself a new program, and you said, I'll just pick when you should pee in a movie.
Well, I had the idea after, do you remember Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong?
Yes.
That movie was over 3 hours long. So,
horrible.
You know, I'm like religious about not going to the restroom during a movie, right? So I go before, but by the end of the movie, I was in agony. I couldn't enjoy the end. And afterwards, you know, it's opening night, and I'm leaving the theater, and there's all these people queued up to see the next showing. And I think, you know, I should tell them there's this scene in the middle of the movie with these big giant bugs, and it's just stupid and it's gross. And that would be a really good time. They could run and pee and then come back and enjoy the end of the movie. But, you know, I'm not that gregarious. I'm not going to go tell strangers when they can pee. So, you know, my next thought was, well, I'm a software developer. Let's just make a website.
Wow.
That's what I did.
Now, that's nice that, you know, you got Hugh Jackman. What about Bill Gates and people like that? Do they comment? I mean, that's who you'd sell it to, right?
I haven't heard any comments from Bill Gates. I'm not sure if I've actually met him before, though.
What about the asshole that stole the idea of Facebook from the Winklevosses? What about that asshole? Because they work for Sirius XM, and they were stolen from. I saw the film, and unless the film's lying, it seems to me that whatever his name is stole it from them, and now he's very wealthy. He's the kind of guy that would like something like, he'd like to steal it from you.
You know, I don't think it makes enough money for somebody to really want to go out and steal it.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of the upside to this.
It's also an easy app to
every movie.
Why can't people think of something great? Why can't you patent it? Because even Facebook or anything that's Instagram, anything that's out there now, you can't patent it apparently, and other people can just, you know, glom on top of you, and some, you know, end up doing, you know, at least, you know, some good portion of your business that you thought of.
But, you know, on the other hand, people go out and patent stupid things like, you know, swipe to unlock your phone, which is like, really, you can patent that? So, yeah, the patent thing is just, it's a nightmare, what you can and can't patent.
Did you try to patent the app?
Your genes.
Can you patent your app?
You know, I haven't tried. You know, there's a copyright for the name, but, you know,
but that's no big deal. I was thinking of making one, you know, pee in the middle of the movie.
Can you sync your app to someone's prostate?
Yeah, that's what I'd like.
Because that's the next level, right?
You know, I think the technology.
Can you make the chair vibrate so they want to pee, and then you sell these special piss in the cup in the movies cups that I'm about to start selling?
Yeah. Doctor, you'll put me out of business if you do that.
Yeah. What is
Doctor, I'm like a basketball player. I dribble a lot.
All right.
Also,
now,
listen, Captain.
Yeah.
Piss police.
That's 1%.
I'll pee when I want to, like right now.
Yeah, thanks. By the way,
my app Run Shit is number 2
on
Well,
iTunes.
that's the same thing as Run P. It's just longer.
No, let me ask you this, Doctor. Let me ask you this.
God.
Let's say I'm in a movie and I have to pee. What do I have to do? Disturb everybody?
You should rewind and listen to this interview because that's what this whole thing is
First, you need a new phone.
Runp.com. And now, Dan, I have to ask you a little bit about yourself. You're a very
Where
smart
are you
guy.
from, Doctor?
Well, I'm about to find out. He's from Arizona, and you studied philosophy, and you know, also you've been you were a mission director at the United States, the United Space Academy in Huntsville, Alabama. When you
Did
were
you go to space camp?
Well, you guys, I taught at space camp.
Awesome!
You taught at
I know.
space camp?
I love that.
You want to have an official nerd pin that
Yeah,
you wear. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
I love that movie,
I mean,
Space
listen,
Camp.
my nickname is Polygeek. What do you expect?
He was a research assistant at the Stewart Observatory in Kitt Peak when he was at the University of Arizona. You did photocopying and data entry. Wow. Wow.
Well, you know, I was the peon for all of the professors.
Now, what did you do at Xbox? You built prototypes for the Xbox and Zune for user testing. That's a big job, too, right? Was that a good job?
Yeah, that was an awesome job, man. That was such a blast. So, if you've got like a game or, anything that you've got that's electronic, you kind of need to practice how you're going to build it, how this is going to work. And, like the Xbox, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars on, like, where a button might ruin the experience. And so I helped them build prototypes so that they could test really quickly and cheaply and, find out the best way things should work.
Is this when you were living in a tent? It says you lived in a tent during college. Okay, quiet.
No, that was when I was living in my car, actually, and working at Microsoft.
They didn't pay you, and you were an intern? They didn't pay any money?
No, at Microsoft I got paid good. But
right.
I lived, when I moved up to Seattle, I lived in my car for about 2.5 months.
Doesn't everybody out there do that?
I hadn't moved into an apartment.
Yeah, I mean, it must have stunk in there. Why didn't you get an apartment? Your parents don't like you enough to give you a little money for it?
It wasn't. I did have an apartment. The building hadn't been completed yet, so I was just waiting for that.
You were waiting for a building to be complete, so you lived in your car.
It was just fun. Why bother?
It wasn't fun. It's not fun. You sound like Mitch Fatel was trying to tell us that swapping with your wife is
high-fiving another dude when my dick's in her mouth is fun, Jay. It's a great time.
You also did nude modeling for college art
I hope not at space camp.
No, when you worked for Microsoft Xbox. Now, what positions were are there paintings of your body and your ass and your penis all over Arizona now?
They were on the art department wall, so I don't really know what happened to them.
Well, you made the wall. That's good.
That's cool. Now, what about your face? How about if, I tell you what, I bet if Rashida Jones found that out, she wouldn't be so happy about you.
This app makes me so...
I think it was...
Yeah.
I think it was kind of like a 100-level drawing class, so they really hadn't progressed to the face part yet.
And you're a thin person, because most people who are intelligent like you are very thin. And so are you well built, or would you just say you're a skinny man?
Kind of in between.
You're in between.
Yeah, just average.
Were you nervous about taking your clothes off in front of an art class? Did it bother you?
It was kind of up to it was almost like daring myself. Like, when it was actually a girlfriend who had a job as the female model. And I was like, well, they need men to do this as well. So,
sure.
And it's kind of hard to find people to do stuff like that in college.
What do they pay, like $15 an hour?
Oh, not that much. I mean,
really?
I can't remember exactly, but it's probably around, I mean, this is back in the late 90s, so probably like $10 an hour or something. It's a lot harder than you would expect.
Really?
Yeah.
You're sitting on a stool demurely. You're sitting
not always.
Demurely on a stool?
I mean, try this. Go home and get on your couch and sit in the most comfortable position you can think of.
Okay.
And then do that for an hour without moving.
Yeah, it's called getting high, dude. I do it all the time.
Hey, Dan. Yeah, you got the wrong dope, buddy, okay? You got the wrong dope.
It's called Xbox and weed.
I will send you my app called Sitting on the Couch for an Hour Relaxing. And you can look at that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan. Good luck. It sounds like...
Good luck, Dan.
Are we going to be reading...
Wonderful.
It's the Run P app. The Run P app, yes.
Jay, before he leaves, I got one more thing for him.
Well, first of all, you have an app for
this guy?
Hold on.
And his
start it over.
What says this guy?
Yeah.
And is king right now? This guy. What? You were wonderful, Dan.
Why is it raining?
Wonderful. I don't know.
Do you have an app? Do you have an app for an old man in a smelly apartment who
understands commas?
Who gets movies from the library for free? Do you have an app for that? When to get up and pee? You could do it at home too, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could use it at home.
Sure.
On an airplane.
Oh, do you have times for library DVDs on when's the best time to go pee?
Yeah.
The database goes back to 2009, so...
Well, Ira, you're screwed.
What cue do you use to start the timer?
Usually it's, like if it's a Disney film, then it'll say on the button when you see the Disney logo, or, when the Warner Brothers fades out, or something like that.
Jose just sent me this. Jay, please tell Dan the P app is full of shit. When you're paying $13 for a movie ticket and choosing one of 3 financing options for popcorn and drinks, you don't get up to pee in the middle of a film that you've spent a tremendous amount of money to sit in. All right? What is it? What is it, Aaron?
Jay, I cross streams with cousin Brucey.
Really? You've done that?
True story.
Here's my balls. Here's
Dan
my balls.
Florio, good luck. 1P. The app is 1P. All right. And I promise we're doing audio and video when we come back. Stay where you are.
So what's your name? Jay Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
This is the Jay Thomas Show.
Jay Thomas.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Howard 101.
Well, we were really interested in talking about guys sending and people sending us notes and all that. And then Christina announces that the guy that she's crazy about is from near her hometown, and he was a listener before they dated.
No, he wasn't a listener.
This will give all of you.
You're so dumb. You don't listen.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Surely, including Eddie Rickenbacker out there who's listening.
He's not
the man
a
that shot down
like
the Red Baron.
that.
Eddie Rickenbacker, you got to. So he's some guy, and you visit him and all.
We visit each other. Yes.
Did you have to sit down with him and say, "Look, what I do on the radio is what I do," and you can't
we talked about it. But see, the thing that's nice about him is that he's not insecure at all. This kind of stuff doesn't, he doesn't know how many Twitter followers I have or even care about that. So that's what I like about him.
How many do you have?
I don't know, like 5,000 something. It's not a big deal, but he doesn't
show more skin. You'll have more people.
No, but I dated a guy that was like, ever since we started dating, you've had 5,020 followers, and now you have 5,400.
Wait a minute.
How did that happen? I don't.
Why would people even? Nobody would say
Thank you. I know.
Like that.
Yes.
No.
Yes, they do.
They wouldn't.
Yes,
no,
they do.
Okay.
Okay.
So now you're dating, and then Shuli spotted you by accident on a train.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was on the train heading in the city to do a spot. She was on the train coming in with her boyfriend.
To you, unknown to you.
And then I see them. I look over and I see.
You know what, Garrett? It's just a small town after all.
Go ahead.
Well, I see this couple. This couple molesting each other with love and happiness.
That's
fucking
disgusting.
I'd rather see somebody getting fisted at the end of the train than fucking two people in love.
Wow.
And they're like, and they're hold on, you fucking crazy old fuck.
Hey, welcome to the club, Shuli.
I got it. I finally understand it now.
I'm
finally.
sorry I'm laughing, but it's funny.
Because you're getting older and you have a family.
I finally get it. Shut up. Yeah. So, and I send her a text to her phone. She doesn't see me. I'm watching them for like 4 stops.
I don't see anybody. That's how
and
involved
the anger is just
after
brewing.
Mitch Fattel gets married, it'll be like Ira after a few years.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to feel like.
So I send her a text. I go, could you two assholes stop cuddling on the train? Sincerely, everyone else on this fucking train.
You can't help it, man.
And now...
Did you hook your leg over his leg?
No, I did not.
Well, the other day, I get to hear her...
Does he grab your ass when you're walking down the street?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Him. Sorry.
And you know what? Garrett is disgusted by the whole show
I know,
today.
but I don't understand what his
That's a hot
because
move.
he's so fucking miserable because he's trying to shove food down his girlfriend's throat.
That's a hot move, palm in the ass.
Yeah, that is.
That's
What's
a good
wrong with
move.
In public,
No, it
that's
isn't.
so corny.
Oh, I am with you, Garrett.
He's not
That is-
obviously
What are you,
grabbing my
16 in
ass.
high school?
No, he's not obviously grabbing my ass.
You
it's
just
not
said
like
yes.
No, it's not like we're like walking down Times Square and he's like, "Hey, baby," and grabs a chunk
Can I
of
be
me.
honest without insulting anyone? It's very Central American.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's
He
not.
touches a little. I have a nice little thing
Hey,
back
Garrett,
here.
that
It's
way
fine.
they can never get me for racism.
That's true. I
know.
grab my
Hey,
wife's
what did
ass.
you say
Very
about
jealous.
Central Americans? Well, I don't, something. They grab asses.
When I grab my wife's ass, it's for me saying, look what I can do that you can't.
Exactly.
This is what I own, and I'm going to grab it
It's
as a
called
bowling ball.
affectionate, Garrett. You should try it sometime.
Not in public.
Yeah.
This is my
Not in
property.
It's on a
Thank
subway
you.
train,
No,
and then
he's
in the middle of Times
He's
Square,
not like
he's grabbing your
fingering me
ass.
on the train.
Sounds
Garrett, this is almost like a Democrat and a Republican in Congress agreeing.
He's so conservative all of a sudden, this one that takes dumps on the train.
So here's the other thing.
Yeah,
it was
off the train.
You know what you are? You're such a bitch. You bring up these things from a long time ago.
I need to.
Remember that time your shoe gave you a blister? Remember that?
Oh, like
you weren't
I'm
laughing
the
then,
first
were
person
you?
to bring up the fact that Garrett took a shit on the train.
In 7 years.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because
That's so,
he's trying to
he's trying to get a job with kids.
And
Don't
so
say
therefore,
that.
I like to dig things up and
By
then
the way,
throw them in his face.
I have an app of people that have shit on the train.
Which train is the best?
See where
Which
they
stop
live.
is best for me to go in between and take a shit?
Instead of a little red dot for the pedophiles, it's a brown dot. Just a brown spot. These people have shit in a public transportation thing. Now, the boy comes to visit. The young man comes to visit.
Yeah, he's a man.
And you live with your parents. How did you break it to them that you two were going to go in the room where
I'm
you
33 years old. I don't think I have to break anything to them. I'm a grown
You
woman.
waltzed
They
in
should
with
be
him.
more concerned
Your mom
if
and
I'm
dad
not
are
getting
having
any.
spaghetti at this little fold-out table
that's
in
not
the
how
kitchen.
it went. It was
Isn't
a
that how it
nice
went?
introduction. It was very
Your father had some French
respectful.
bread he was dipping in the spaghetti sauce, and his mouth was open, and you walk right through, say hi, and go into your room.
Yeah,
to
I
have
just
sex.
grab him right by the balls and bring him into my bedroom.
Mom, if you need me, I'll be cock gobbling. So her
If you
mom
hear anything.
actually cock blocked her the other
Totally.
day.
Really? How'd she do that?
God. So I'm in my bedroom, and we're,
Well, your mom cupped my balls when they owned
Did
that restaurant.
she?
I thought that
She-
was
she's a-
odd.
she's a
Jay's a
ball
good
guy.
tipper. You know
she
that.
kept
So-
saying, "You want more sausage?"
We're in
I
the
said,
bedroom, and we're like,
Fine. Sausage.
we're in the bedroom, and we're hanging out, and we're hooking up, and then I hear,
Oh no!
yeah, and I'm like, shh, don't say anything.
Oh my God!
And then you hear,
what?
and then I don't hear.
What were you doing
Hold
at
on.
the time?
You know, just cock gobbling. And,
wait a minute! It's a room, not a house. I mean, they
my
know
bedroom,
you're in,
right?
But they
And
know
then my
you're in
phone starts to ring. So I grab a robe, I throw it out, I walk outside. I'm like, what? All like bitchy, like I'm 17 again. And she goes, nothing. I just wanted to know what you kids were doing for dinner.
I don't respect your parents and have sex in the room next to them.
It is my apartment, Garrett.
It's very uncomfortable. Like if you go on vacation with your parents and share a hotel room, do you have sex in the bed next to them? It's like
No,
who does
why
that?
would I share
Wait
a
a
hotel
minute!
room with
Stop
my
everything!
parents?
Hold it!
What
When
the
I was
fuck is
11
wrong
or
with
12
you?
or 14, I did that. You don't do it at a certain age, Garrett. Do you go?
Well,
Do you
apparently at
share-
32, you do.
No, do
No,
you share
you
a
do
room
it. You share a room with your parents
at a hotel
with your girlfriend. I knew it.
Who wouldn't?
Ew, what?
Surely.
Wait a second.
A two-bedroom with two bathrooms?
Oh, now it's a two-bedroom. Now he's living in a villa. Now it's a villa.
I'll
all
sleep
of a
in the
sudden.
car with my girlfriend before I share a fucking hotel room with my parents and my girlfriend.
Never.
I used to get the Holiday Inn.
I get to see my.
I have to. Financially,
So
that's
don't
the only
have sex
option.
with your boyfriend while your
I
parents are in
can't
the
have
house.
sex with my whatever he is because
Your parents are right. Your mom is 6
she's
inches
not
of
in the
wood
room
away.
with me.
Hey, whatever your name is in Pennsylvania, run.
Yeah.
Run.
Thanks for fucking this up, everybody.
No,
really
it's not
appreciate
fucking it up.
it. Really
Can I be honest with you?
appreciate it.
You guys
He
see what
doesn't-
you're doing to Ira? He hates this.
He doesn't.
sleeping
You want
through this whole
Christina,
argument.
What?
You're not. You're old enough now that you can be with somebody that, and I know you have an age limit, but you need somebody with
I have an age
real
limit.
money.
No,
Yeah,
no. You
real money.
don't even know what you're talking about. You're just like
This guy
assuming
should have a
something.
hotel room.
No, he shouldn't have
He
a
should-
hotel room 4 nights out
He
of
should
the
get
week
an
that he
apartment.
comes to
Then
hang
he
out
should
with
get
me.
a
No, he
pied-à-terre.
shouldn't. No,
Yes,
he
he
shouldn't.
should.
I've been dating
least
him a
a
month and a half.
fuck pad.
I don't need him to get an apartment.
What about a fuck
None
pad?
of you know what you're talking
A
about.
shaggin' wagon. Get a
Go
van.
ahead, fund it for me, Jay. Fund me a fuck wagon or whatever she was
No.
talking
Starter.
about.
I
Well,
guarantee
exactly.
you. I know I'm too old for you, but we'd have a little spot.
Here
I
we go.
guarantee.
Uncle Daddy
We'd have a
talking
spot.
shit again.
We'd have a little spot.
The smile
Like
on your
a
face.
studio apartment, like $900 a month.
Oh yeah, $900 a month. Sure. Who wants to throw that money
It's
away?
better than having sex in front of your mom.
I'm not
pretty much.
having sex in front of my mom. It's not.
You know what?
I own a
Garrett.
door. He doesn't take the hinges off.
They
his
don't-
door.
It's not even a solid door. It's hollow.
They don't-
How do you know? You've never seen the door.
I've been to your apartment.
What the fuck are you
Why don't you go to where he lives?
I do. I'll be there this weekend.
By the way,
Thank
Christina,
you.
I'd like you to jump on board.
No, they don't. He has his own house.
Garrett, he lives with his grandmother alone.
No, he
and his
has
grandma.
a job that pays him money. Unfortunately, I don't. So these are what I'm left with,
Christina,
and that's what I make the best out of every
You don't have to
situation.
explain yourself. You've inspired me. New app, Run Gobblecock, will be out immediately for
You know
anyone
what
who
else?
lives with their folks.
Is there going to be a feature where my mom goes,
When you two,
what are
listen,
you kids doing for dinner?
Christina, when you two crazy kids decide to tie the knot, I'm going to throw.
Why am I getting married?
I'm going to
You're
throw
ruining
the
this for
bachelorette
me.
party
You're
at a
ruining
Chuck E.
this for me
Cheese.
by
I'm gonna-
saying that marriage and things.
No.
Don't say those things.
No.
Don't put shit out into the universe that I don't
No.
want. Just let me be happy for once.
Can I just
Can
bring
this
this-
room, please, for
Hold
once
on,
in the
hold
6
on.
years I've been here, let me be fucking
Can I
happy.
just bring this to a serious level?
Wow.
One second.
Lord.
Please. You know, Garrett, it comes up like a cauldron of
Because
hatred.
he's
doesn't it?
over here just chuckling away with his 7-year relationship, the girl he never wants to marry. Shut up and let me be happy.
Christina.
Wow.
What? Ira?
At least you met somebody
Thank you.
nice.
Who the
that
fuck woke
cares
him up?
for you. I
Yeah.
want to
Thank
wish
you.
you.
We were just trying to be
all the
kind of
very,
funny. You got to
very
really,
best.
surely, really, this is, I'm feeling it's a little too serious.
Yeah, because you're telling.
Relax.
So
You know what?
frustrated right
We don't
now.
care that much, really.
Good.
We don't
Christina,
Good.
I got a
We really
song
don't.
for you.
Oh, this will make everything better.
If a guy wants to shove pizza down your throat and sleep in your mom's house,
Sounds good to
God
me.
love the man. Do we have another break, Brandon? No. What's that?
No, unfortunately not.
We have no more breaks to go to. Let's go to audio and video at least, please. Let's go to
Much like
audio.
Malaysian Air, there's only one direction we're going.
Here we go. Quiet down. Time for audio and video. We're rolling. And Mark.
Wow.
Wow.
Clown, they abuse you.
An exclusive feature only on the Jay Thomas Show.
Alan has sent me this note. Jay, I'm soon going to be filming the World Cup edition of surfing, where a bunch of dudes paddle out in perfect conditions, then paddle for many waves, and then don't catch them. And then one guy does catch a wave, and then they paddle for more waves that they don't catch. And you'll be on the edge of your seat with World Cup surfing. Thank you very much, Alan.
Might
Let's
want to
go
pick
now.
a sport to goof on soccer that's a little more relevant than surfing, sir.
World Cup. World Cup surfing. When you go to Key...
parents turned on Christina.
Okay, quiet down. Let's get off the subject.
Wait.
Who knew parents turned on Christina?
It turns you on. Yeah. Shh. You know what turns you on? Shh. They can hear. Shh. They can hear.
Don't say anything.
There's nothing like pillow smothering sex. There's nothing hotter. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Listen, if you have to yell right into the Vaseline jar.
Or just yell like you stubbed your toe. Go, ah, fuck!
Me!
And
Harder.
then whisper me. Ah, fuck!
When you go to Key West, you can go to these docks, and the tarpon, which used to be very difficult to catch, are there, and you can feed them with your hand.
Those are big ass fish, right?
They are.
Yeah.
This is the sound of an asshole tourist at the dock who's waiting for the tarpon to be fed. The wife is taking,
I hope it latches onto his head. It'd be the best.
No, it does latch onto him, but he decides to catch the tarpon that you're just supposed to feed with your fingers. He sticks its hand. Listen to these are asshole tourists. Here we go. There we go. There's the tarpon. He's holding the food. Here we go. Catch a good one now. Get him, baby.
Get him.
Now, wait a second.
Is his
I'm sorry. No, stop it. Garrett. No, stop. I'm sorry. No. That's the audio that your mom sent me from your house.
Christina's room.
I'm so sorry.
That's
that's a fucked up.
great. Funny stuff.
Garrett, I don't know how that got in
do
there.
that on the fly?
It's like when you got a school thing going and a porno suddenly flashes on the. I am
you
so
don't
sorry.
need writers. You got this.
No, yeah, we had it. We had that one. And now let's look at MSNBC getting pranked by Captain Janks. Now, Shirley, before we go to this, does he feel sad that people died and he's pranking over a death? 300 people dying.
I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but it doesn't seem to have bothered him in the past.
Right.
But I will say that what's weird about this is his last appearance on the show, he officially retired from doing this. He said he was done. He was not going to be prank calling anymore. So when this call went down, I immediately called him. I said, hey, do an interview with me. Talk to me about what. And he on my Facebook page, he put a comment, an official statement, that he apologizes for making this call to MSNBC.
Come on.
And that he forgot he was retired, and that he is back to retirement and will not prank call anymore.
Like Michael Jordan.
So was you think he's serious, or is he just fucking around with that one?
I think it's almost like muscle memory. A tragedy goes down. He's used to picking up the phone, calling.
How do you get through to these networks?
Well, see, now that's interesting. He figured out, and back in the day it was much easier, but a lot of times these producers or these interns, they wouldn't Google, they wouldn't he would research and pick a name and a location that's nearby, whatever it is, and they would just go with it, and they would
like Dr. somebody or other of an institute. Right?
It really was twofold. His whole process was A, to prank them and to get Howard's name out there, but B, to show what idiots news people are, that they don't research or look into anything.
Well, he would say he was a member of some school or something, and they could look that up, right? Didn't he do it that way?
Right.
Yeah,
but he was also doing that at a time where they were more than able to look shit up and find out, and they still wouldn't.
So now he calls MSNBC. How long after the plane and 300 people? An hour after death. Well, you know what? To me, personally, it sounds like long enough. We mourned long enough. Let's hear the great Captain Janks and his retirement phone call. Go ahead.
Let's turn now to an MSNBC exclusive. U.S. Staff Sergeant Michael Boyd is at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine and says that he saw a missile in the air hit the plane. He is on the phone with us. Sergeant, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Please tell us what you saw there on the ground in Ukraine.
Well, I was looking out the window and I saw a projectile flying through the sky, and it would appear that the plane was shot down by a blast of wind from Howard Stern's ass.
So it would appear that the plane was shot down. Can you tell us anything more from your military training of what sort of missile system that may have been coming from?
Oh, God.
Well, you're a dumbass, aren't you?
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, sir.
She's a little. Oh, my God.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with all the latest next.
Such robots.
I don't know how nobody... Do they not hear it? Because I would immediately laugh, obviously. But
no, because...
The one to Dan Rather he's done in the past was even worse than that.
They are like, people that are interviewing you on TV, they're not listening, and they're staring at you. Like when I'm on CNN and I'm talking, that's why I like to fuck around, because you want to have them look at you, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's boring. The guy saw a missile. We all know it's a missile, and she's not listening. She's thinking of her next question. That's it.
Any chance that her producers were yelling in her ear, this is a fake call?
Had to be.
She's trying to listen to them and doesn't understand what he's saying.
Unless Captain Janks actually got to MSNBC and cut all the wires of all of the communications. Yeah. Now wait a second. How does she get a job? Why do they hire?
She's hot.
She's hot. She's hot.
Yeah. Mr. Come-A-Lot just answered your question.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Sir Come-A-Lot.
Charlie Sheen was feeling no pain whatsoever at a Taco Bell at the drive-thru, and people wanted to film him and talk to him. He's he's deep down inside. He's a nice fellow, and he becomes even nicer. And I don't know whether he is or not. The more loaded he is, he becomes the nicest.
I just snorted a chalupa. What's going on?
Here we go, Charlie Sheen. Here we go.
Awesome meeting. She's a big fan.
She's a big fan of drunk dudes.
Jaden.
Yeah, I'm Charlie.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I'm so fucking here.
No, you're cool, man.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
Tamara.
Tamara?
Uh-huh.
Hi.
Hi.
Awesome.
You're rad, man.
You guys are in a fight.
No.
No, we're not fighting. What's up with that tattoo? Let me see that tattoo.
Which one?
That one right here. Hell yeah.
It's Linus with his blanket.
Why not?
You're crushing.
Go Reds.
Reds, yeah. Ripping.
You're hilarious.
All right, man. Thank you.
Nice. Right on. Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. That's Gary.
Gary, what's up, man? What's going on?
That's his bodyguard.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Jesus. It sounds like it's like he swallowed Wolfman Jack.
I know. How you doing? I'm on the 59-cent menu here.
Jesus. You know, maybe he's not loaded, but boy, doesn't he seem? I don't know. Doesn't he seem
He
like
said he was hammered.
Jay.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, you want me to run it back?
He said you two were fighting.
He says,
you
no,
two.
right before that, he goes, sorry, I'm so fucking hammered.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jay.
Now, you know what else? He thinks everybody fights like he does with girlfriends. Why would he look into a car and say, are you two fighting?
He's drunk. And then 2 seconds later, they've said nothing,
allegedly.
They've said nothing funny, and he goes, "You guys are hilarious."
You know what? I need more listeners like that.
Jay.
What, Ira? Ira, what is it?
It's a very, very sad thing.
It is.
What I read yesterday in the papers.
Yeah.
They did not bury Casey Kasem yet. What's the matter with that crazy
They're fighting
family?
over the money. They're fighting over the money.
They're,
And where
they're jackasses, okay?
Well, he's in a refrigerator. It's not like he's laying in the
I
street.
know he's in the refrigerator, but you don't keep a man that long.
Really?
You don't keep him that long.
Well, because you're Jewish and you're supposed to
They
bury him
should
within
have the funeral
3
immediately.
days. Yeah, that's because in the old days,
Next day,
people would stink. We have
Rigor mortis will set in.
That's true. But we have refrigeration now. They could keep him indefinitely. In fact, if they find out the cure for what he had, like Walt Disney or whatever, they could bring him back and have American top 40 in 1,000 years.
Ira fell asleep while you were answering that question.
Really?
No.
Yes.
Wonder
Really?
why we're laughing in there
Really?
for no reason.
I see. There's a guy that makes Fitbit or something, and he's always wanting to be a guest on the show and everything else. You know what Fitbit is? You know what that is?
Fitbit.
Do you know what Up 24 is? You know what that is?
is that where you take all the cards and throw them on the floor and tell them to pick them up?
Maybe he's a
Fitbit.
misfit.
After you work out, you wear a thing on your wrist that lets your trainer know what you're doing the rest of the day. I swear to God. And apparently people are buying. I find this to be the stupidest thing. And I know you listen to the show and you want to come on. It's just fucking stupid. And then there's a Fitbit cover in case it gets wet or whatever. It's like those people that play golf and they have those things that tell the exact yardage. I find those to be stupid fucking also.
Yeah.
Okay. But Garrett, don't you find that stupid? That, we got a thing, an electronic thing, and it's
I don't mind the watch that's like GPS. You could just look like you're looking at you. But when they pull out the binoculars and it has the different gauges and they're seeing the
like they're Navy SEALs, like about to raid a fucking warehouse.
There's markers on the course. You could figure
Let me
it
tell
out.
you something. If you're an amateur golfer and it says you're 120 yards away, you don't know the exact club, right? This guy says to me, "Hey Jay, you're 117 and a half from the center of the." I go, "Yeah, let me get my 117 and a half club out." Yeah, and so I know they use it when they're practicing. They don't allow it, in the tournaments and stuff like that. But the pros really know how to hit something 117 and a half. They know how to do it, right? I got one of those watches, Garrett, and I cannot hook it up. And so it's embarrassing. And after a while, I realized I wasted $200 because even if I could figure out where it was, I don't need that information. I mean, I don't have a 127 or a one. Hey, do you have a 212 club? No, I don't have anything in my bag that would even go that way. I'd have to have a little fucking gun. But Fitbit.
I wear
really?
Fitbit.
Really. And there's don't buy these things. That's ridiculous.
Jay.
Just fucking work out, sweat, and then go fucking home. I wouldn't want a creepy fucking trainer. I find that whole group creepy also. Oh, lift your leg, Virginia. You know, are you kidding me?
Jay.
What?
Time to go.
Thank
My
God.
new P app says I just had an accident.
Hey, by the way, I just got a
peeing in
text
my
from your
pants.
boyfriend, Christina. There are fresh sheets. He and your mom are making your bed right now.
Oh, that's good.
And
Thank
they're
you.
fluffing it. And there's going to be a little mint shaped like a pizza square.
He knows just
waiting
what to
for you.
do to get
Yeah.
inside.
Have a good weekend.
Dear Jay, Captain Jank should build up more muscle memory by sucking cock.
Oh,
Thank you.
all right.
Thought I would end with on a hot
Duly
note.
noted.
Thank you very much.
I'm so happy to hear this.
You're a dumbass, aren't you, bitch?